How close I want you to be. Aww. I'm gonna take a photo.
Bye.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. You're so warm.
You're warm.
You're warm. Put that right in front of the lens so it doesn't show. Okay, so missed me? I didn't. I missed all of you. I finally have a baby bump. I'm into. Whoa, what? Are you pregnant? Congratulations. Hi, Dr. Chaos. How are you? I'm glad you're here, Kyros. Hi, Mio, his waifu. Hi, cutie. Hi, Angel Tail. Hi, Moon VR. We get to interview the lovely Moon VR. I think it's next Tuesday. So I'm excited for that. This week, Sweetie's going to be my first live interview.
Yay.
I was going to, technically Kuro, I guess technically Kanata was number 1 and Kuro was 2, but we'll just say you're number 1. You're my first.
Kuro live?
No, Kuro's wasn't live. It was just on, it was just on YouTube.
Yay, I'm honored.
Yeah. By the way, can you guys hear? The volume should be good. Can you guys hear Sweetie? Can you do more testing? Testing.
Testing, 1, 2, testing. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Yeah.
Hi, Madara. How are you? You're pregnant? Oh my God, congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
So during the interview, yeah, point redeems. Yeah, thank you, Nerd Detective. Point redeems are not going to be noticed. Hi, Shroomer. And I won't be addressing chat until the end. I'm going to take some questions and like get back to you guys at the end. But I'm going to be focusing primarily on Sweet because I just think interviews work for me anyway. They're a bit more personal and intimate and like sincere when I'm just focusing on you.
Oh my goodness.
So
the attention.
You can hear us fine. Okay, perfect. So, Sweet does have a lovely model. That is absolutely true. Sorry, I was so excited. I forgot I haven't told anyone. Yeah, I didn't realize you were pregnant. So that's awesome. Congratulations. That is very exciting. It's so like, you ever have friends? I mean, I don't know how old you are. I think you're somewhat closer to my age.
Yes.
But you have friends who like just have get pregnant or like, I guess you were already married and you're like, you're like, whoa, you're pregnant? Like,
yeah,
I knew
it's weird. Have you ever visited a friend in the hospital who was like,
no,
like they were pregnant or their wife or husband was pregnant?
Not in the hospital, no.
Yeah, it's strange. Like the baby's there, and you're just like, what is this?
I had a friend who like visited me, and I held her baby. Well, there were a couple, him and her, and that was so weird. I was so scared I was gonna drop them. Yeah, not like that. I mean, I cradled them, but I was like kind of scared. I feel like I can't take care of myself, let alone a baby. I don't know if I could take care of a baby right now, as in like. There's such a full-time job, like, I don't know. If I was in a better place financially and stuff, maybe, but I love Sweet Cheeks. Yeah, I love Sweet Cheeks, too. Okay, without any further ado, I don't want to waste any more time. We're going to be starting the interview. I'm going to have chat down. Am I interviewing her for a mod? No. Oh, Sophie, I guess I can say thank you for the raid. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, Raiders. We're actually about to start an interview, so I'm not going to be able to check chat. Thank you so much for the raid. Hello, Indigo. I hope you had a wonderful stream, Sophie. I'm about to start interviewing my lovely friend Sweet Heat here. I hope you are doing well, Sophie. And without further ado, I am going to close my chat, so I'm not going to be able to see anything. And you shouted out the wrong person, Cacti. Thank you, Kyros, for the 100 bits. But welcome, Indigo. Welcome, everyone. What were you playing, Sophie? Okay. Yeah, I apologize, but I will be closing chat now. I love you guys. I love you guys. If we could get a shout out for Sweet Heat, though, that would be wonderful. All right, I am closing the stream now. Hi, Violet. Or closing the chat now. Okay, let me move this here so I can kind of see the questions here. Okay, my guest today, for I guess for the inaugural live VRchat interviews that I'm doing, is the wonderful Sweet Heat. I've been a fan of yours for a while now, ever since you first rated me, which was like a long time ago, like last summer or something.
Was that?
Maybe before
It's been
that.
a while.
Yeah. And my girlfriend at the time like was a big fan of yours, Space Fauna, and like I don't know, I just heard so many good things about you. But I hadn't met you for like until like months afterwards when when Lugs brought you into I think a cabin we were in, and you're so adorable, and I loved watching you dance all the time and just loved hearing you talk. I remember you were just talking about food, and I think the first stream I watched you do, you were dancing, but then you were actually freestyling, and I loved you even more after I saw you freestyling. But yeah, so I know you as a dancer and a freestyler and just someone who's very, very kind and comfy and sweet. And is there like, how do you introduce yourself when you're like?
I don't know, cause me and Kuro, so I'm Sweet Heat, y'all, and so we're starting a podcast
Right,
a couple days ago, and so it's gonna be like a learning process, kind of like, do you ask them how do you introduce yourself? But I guess I could kind of talk about how I kind of came into the community.
Yeah, I was actually that's my first question usually is so how did you get started with VR in general?
Yes.
Did you go straight into VRchat? Like, what was your first exposure to VR?
Honestly, it was, I think I was playing, so I tried a couple different social platforms like you, like I tried Altspace. I tried some like free stuff, Anyland or something. There has been so many different things like that. But I tried VRchat in 2019 after I saw like VR Funny, I think, do like some videos, and there was like No Logic David on there and some other dancers, and it just looked silly. And and this is when I was married at the time. We can talk about that. But I got a Quest 2, and then I got in, and I went to Void Club, and the first night I was like, I lost track of time. I danced for like 3 or 4 hours, and it was like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I was like, oh my god, what just happened? And like maybe I didn't even unmute. I danced with like 3 or 4 people in a public void, and
sorry, when was this? What year was this? Do you know? Do you remember?
2019. Yeah, summer of 2019.
Okay, cool.
And it was so crazy and special. And the next day, I got an Oculus S, I think.
Wait, so what were you using when you went in the first time?
I was using the Quest.
Oh, okay.
The first Quest, yeah. And then I got the Rift S, and shortly after that, I got body tracking, and so I was one of those people you see in Void Club that are just like dancing and not saying anything, and that was fun.
Which is so fun, yeah.
Fun. Yeah.
Were you?
And
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, like I was just saying, like along the way, I guess somehow I got invited onto Jaden's stream, or I was watching Jaden's stream, and I was like, "Can I cipher with y'all?" And I didn't have my own app. I didn't know anything
what does
about,
that mean
like,
for everyone
creating.
who's not in the dance community? What does ciphering mean?
Okay, cipher is like, at least dance-wise, is when you get a bunch of dancers together, and then you basically take turns dancing to the same song or different songs. And so that way you can share and you can have fun and stuff. And usually it's freestyle, so completely random. Maybe a dancer will pull up their own song and be like, check this out, yo. And then people will come up and, do whatever style you do, hopefully, even if it's ballet or hip-hop or house or whatever. You'll just congregate and dance. I think it's so cool. It's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing.
I've watched a couple. They're really fun.
Have you?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just shy in the background because I don't dance, but yeah.
We need to do. I think we should do a cipher, but like a freestyle cipher.
I would love that. I would love to do that.
Me, you, and Kuro or something. It doesn't even have to be streamed or anything. We could just kind of.
No, I would love that. That'd be so fun.
I did that. I got addicted to that, and
Yeah.
yeah. So
I was gonna
kind
ask
of.
you, were you a dancer before you started VRchat, or did you start dancing in VRchat?
Um, I was always interested in dance.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to break dance when I was a kid, and like
Cool.
I'd go to skating rings, and like
Mm-hmm.
I'd be in the corner like practicing break dancing while everyone was skating around in the
Oh,
freaking
that's so
circle.
cool.
It's so silly.
That's
And
awesome.
I saw like dancers and stuff, and I never really took it seriously. And then even in VR chat, I was like, uh, when I first started, it was kind of like vibing, and but then like I was like, you know what, I could really do this and try to like make a name for myself and like chill with other dancers and see what's possible. And kind of here I am, like 2 years later, the
Oh.
community and learning hip hop and all that stuff. So yeah.
So I'm gonna check this.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
I
I
never
think I drink a
know.
little drink of
Yeah,
water.
yeah, please. Um,
But
okay, this is so great. So I was gonna ask. You said that you were watching like VRC Funny, and did you say No Logic
yes.
David, who's
Yeah,
one
do
of
you
the
know them?
biggest, one of the biggest dancers in VR chat, I think, right? They're the
Totally.
probably the most well known. I think I don't really know them too well, but I know they're a legend, I guess, in this, in this community. I was wondering if there are any other streamers that inspired you, or just people you saw on YouTube, and like what inspired you to start streaming yourself?
Um, to be honest, yeah, I think it was Ron, like,
Yeah.
and Jedin saying, like, go, you should try this streaming thing. And and people like I think I never got on Discord or Twitch before getting onto VR chat. And so like this whole world of people subbing and having emotes and artwork and stuff was completely new. And so anyone on VR Funny who was popular at the time, like um I'm trying to think of some big names, but kind of Lolathon and like, really big streamers. Like I saw them and I was like, they're like entertaining and some are entertaining, some are just kind of conversing and talking, some have like different formats. Oh, also Lulu is really
Yeah.
big influence on me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember, but Lulu used to do like skits and stuff. Like he would
Yeah.
like
He still does
be like,
occasionally.
yeah, some kind of role play sort of thing.
I
And
love
like it would be
that.
completely ridiculous. I love that too.
Yeah.
And and sometimes I try to do that a little bit because I am a cat,
Aw.
and and so I tried that out, and at first it was just me dancing on in DJL and being really shy and not talking, and then eventually I was like, I want to make my own. I want to make my own avies and stuff, and so that was a long process.
Yeah, you're an amazing avatar creator, actually. How did you get started in that? Like, did you watch YouTube videos and stuff, or were there like people
No,
who helped you? No, you just learned on
I
your
this is
own,
what
just
I
trial and
yeah,
error.
and I'd recommend it to everyone. Like so I have some beats in the background. Uh, I found a particular Avi I liked. I think I forget what world. Seiki. It was a Seiki. If you remember Seikis, they're little cute foxes,
Mm-hmm.
and fox girls. And then I bought it from the creator, put it into Unity, and then I started messing with the colors. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. And then I started messing with like, you know, the eye textures and the skin textures. And like, this is not so bad. And there's only so much you can do with that, right? I
Mm-hmm.
started buying more and more avies from creators, and I'm like, oh, this is how you do this and that. And then I got Blender, and to be honest, like I create avies, but I'm more of a designer, and I think a
Right.
lot of
Yeah.
creators, sorry, are designers. So
That makes sense. Yeah.
you
You're
use the
putting
same
stuff together.
assets. Yeah, you
Yeah.
put stuff together and you design it and make something great, and maybe even sell stuff. And I've been thinking about that. Oh, I do commissions too, by the way.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about maybe starting a Gumroad or something
Oh, that'd be
and
cool.
seeing what I can make. But yeah,
Did you have
but it's been fun.
experience in graphic design before? I know you said you're a coder, right? I'm not sure. IRL,
Yeah,
which is really
I
cool.
am. Yeah, I did not have any experience in graphic design.
Okay.
I've
Well,
always liked design and
yeah.
um aesthetic stuff
Mhm.
and and I'm a software engineer. So I build code and stuff. Kind of similar to making Abby's. I like take other people's code and put it together and make sure and see if it works or doesn't work.
Yeah.
Cause some and and so yeah, I had not really any experience, but I've always liked art and
Cool.
storytelling and all that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah, you told me
So
that you used to do acting and stuff when you were younger, like theater. Is that true? Like,
I tried, girl. I
you
tried.
tried? Did you take like classes? I know you said you did auditions and stuff. Like, did you
I
take? Were
think
you like in drama in high school and stuff? Like, were you what kind of stuff did you do?
I'm kind of like you. I've always been interested in writing
Mhm.
and English. I think English was my best subject because
Yeah.
I really like understanding the grammar and rules and like creating a story out of thin air, out of words. The acting part, I tried to go sign up for theater plays and I did improv and it was terrible. I freaking bombed improv because I was so nervous.
I know that feeling.
Um, yeah, you
Yeah.
too.
I
You're
took
probably
improv and
better.
I always felt so uncomfortable doing improv. I was like, okay, whatever that means. But it's hard.
Yeah,
It's very similar to freestyle, what you were saying. Just kind of, I think the whole point of improv is just letting go and just trying to get out of your own head and just going with the flow. There are like rules and stuff that you need to follow, but
oh yeah,
it's
the
all
yes
about just
and
yeah, like
and
yes and or like
stuff like that.
setting a scene or something and listening to your partner and stuff. Um, but it
Yeah,
was just hard for me to like because I was so anxious. I get really, I know it doesn't seem like this, but I'm really shy, IRL especially, and I get really intimidated even in VR on people that I don't know super well. So it's hard for me
sure.
to open up and like really just let go of all my inhibitions,
I know what you
similar to
mean.
freestyle. Um,
Oh,
yeah.
I have a suspicion that most streamers are. I'm looking for my water. Most streamers
Sure.
are introverted.
Yeah. I have noticed. I
And
think
so,
that's very true.
yeah.
Um,
And so, like, we have to recharge after a stream
mhm.
or just in general with a lot of people. And same for me. Not, I,
Mhm.
I am the most confident when I'm either streaming or I'm one on one with someone. I'm very
Yeah.
comfortable with that. Especially you know, I.
Oh, well, I'm so glad. I'm so
But
glad you're here. Yeah, I'm so comfy with you, and I'm very uncomfortable when I do a collab and there's like more than two people. Like I did one last night with like a few people, and I just don't like talking
cute.
over people, and I get like anxious on what to say. But when it's like one on one, I feel like I can really kind of focus on that person and read their energy, and then they're also focused on me too, and I don't feel like I'm just talking over someone randomly, especially with someone I don't know super well. Have you ever done a collab with other VTubers or other streamers? No.
I kind of felt that way. I think I felt that way.
Yeah.
And I talked to Kuro about this afterwards. I'm like, should I interrupt more? Like, should
Yeah.
I like? Because I with one on one, I do love to listen, and you can talk and I can talk, and it's like we're passing a ball back and forth like in
Right.
soccer, right?
Yeah.
But with like three people, it's like some people like hog the ball, or
Yeah.
it's like some people want to be heard more. I feel like Kuro likes to hog the ball,
Curl's
but
yeah, Curl's hogging the
he's a
ball.
ball hogger,
Yeah,
which
it's
is
true.
fine. I guess that's why I was attracted
Oh.
to him in the first
Oh.
place.
Oh, that is. Can I
Yeah.
ask you? I was actually gonna ask you about like love and stuff, and if there's anything you don't
Sure.
want to talk about, please just be like, just let me
Okay.
know. But yeah,
For
how
sure.
did you meet Kuro and like how did Kuro is going out with the lovely Sweetie. They're one of the cutest couples I've ever seen. Like there's just so sweet and sincere, and there's genuine love, and I don't know. I love you too. But how did you two meet, and like who asked who out, and how long have you been dating now? And also I wanted to ask, is this your first VR relationship, or have you been in a VR relationship before this?
Um, oh, those are a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Start with whatever you want.
Let's start with the the last thing you said. So like this
Yeah.
is my second one.
Okay.
My first VR relationship, which is so kind of weird. We didn't really define it as a relationship, but I kind of fell for someone who was mute and also someone who I didn't know was a guy.
Oh yeah, you told me about that,
So
and you actually used the word catfishing, which
I got
um,
trapped, catfish. I don't know how you look at it. They have
right.
bad connotations.
So they.
Um,
Oh, okay.
but
Oh,
I,
sweetie.
it's okay. I was a newbie. I assume everyone is a guy now.
So I
If they're
kind of
mute
have that assumption, or trans, or just they're uncomfortable
or
with their
trans.
voice, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
not
But
always the
okay,
case.
but
But
it did. So to be very blunt, like I was pretty straight for
yeah,
VRchat,
I was
and
gonna ask you
then
about that too.
that
Yeah,
was a good introduction to exploring my, how I feel about guys and
yeah, your
in general.
sexuality, and I think a lot
Yeah,
of
exactly.
people figure themselves out more in
Mm-hmm.
sexuality, or and also just like how you present yourself. Um, like I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you were a
Mm-hmm.
cat girl before VR chat, but you're definitely a cat
Oh,
girl now.
oh,
Yeah.
first day for sure. First day I went to Cute Abby's or something world, a Cute Abby
Yeah.
world, and I got like a girl. Um, I've always picked girl characters to be honest in games.
Yeah, me too.
I and I just it's it's so awesome to be able to explore safely,
Yeah.
you know. Like I was saying, like in society you might be in a country that like will look down on you or
Right.
treat you different if you try to dress differently or
Right.
talk
Yeah.
differently. So this is perfect. This is amazing, and it's completely changed my life. But so after that first thing, the first relationship, I figured VRChat is a really hard place to be monogamous, to have a monogamous relationship. How many times have you heard like someone getting quote like cheated on and stuff? And so
Yeah.
I was very very reluctant to start dating Kuro because he's very old fashioned, I suppose.
Right.
And but to be honest, and he said this on stream before, that's changed recently. We've been a little bit more open and stuff. But
Like in
I
terms of
did,
polyamory, or like
yeah, in
okay.
terms of polyamory and kind of just having fun
Yeah.
and exploring
Mm.
yourself with other people. Because like there's why not? But that's something that he's changed over time, and he's so open, and I'm very very open. That's to experimenting and that sort of thing. So um I forget what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, Kuro. Hold on, let me turn this music down.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, give me a second. J Dilla beats bumping in the background. Um, I saw Kuro just streaming one day, and he was talking about mental health. And I don't think I've ever seen another streamer talk about mental health. Maybe you do, occasionally, but
Occasionally, not
um,
as much as Kuro or other people who like
yeah,
are, I don't know, mental health streamers or something. I'm more just like I more provide. I
just
try
in
to
general.
provide a place for people to work on their mental health in terms of just like relaxing and sort of having a
Hmm.
place to unwind. Because I think mental health is so important.
It's so, yeah, it's so important to me too. Like as far not just other people, like yourself too. Just making sure you are reflecting on your own thoughts and
Hmm.
like and how you interact with the world and how you feel about yourself and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But that's very introspective. But I've always been like that, and so I really connected with him when I started watching. And he was interested in learning dance at the same time. And so he was stalking Ron, kind of, and like getting
Aw.
close to him and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think he showed up at a cipher one day, and I was like, I was messaging him on a stream. I was like, "You're cute. Can I give you head pats?" And so
Oh,
I came in. And he was like, "You want
yeah.
to give me head pats right now?" I'm like, "Yeah." Started head patting him, and we talked and connected. And for like 2 or 3 nights straight, we gambled on this freaking website with cryptocurrency, and we were just connecting and having fun doing that.
Oh,
Um, Shortly after, I asked him if like we could start dating and stuff because he, like
oh.
I said, is very old school and he didn't want to like do anything
Until you were in like
before.
a relationship. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
sweet.
I know it's
That's
so
sweet.
sweet. It's very,
Oh, you don't see that at all in VR chat,
oh,
really.
sweet.
It's just that's really adorable. I
Yeah,
love that
and
though. I like that.
it's good. It's nice. He says he was saying, and you might have an opinion on this. Like, it's like when you're with someone, it's more meaningful when you're with someone like you're dating or
Yeah.
you know. And
Right.
I, I get that, but I also like, and he says dating specifically,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I get that, but I also have friends that you know, I I'm very close to as well, and I don't mind like you know having fun in that sort of way.
I
So
when I first started VR chat, the little known fact about me, I
yeah,
I was, like, and I think a lot of people get really excited when they get full body and stuff and just want to explore their sexuality and
yeah,
stuff. So I was a lot
totally.
more open with like doing things like that with people I didn't know super well.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those people I'm still so close with, such good friends with. Some of those people I'm not, and I think I got my feelings hurt, and I think I hurt other people's feelings because I'm actually someone who I can't do like no strings attached sex. I mean, I don't know if I wish I could. It's just me. I'll develop feelings, or I'll approach someone because I have some kind of feelings for them. And so when I would
Mm.
do stuff with people and like I would never hear from them again, it really hurt. Like I was just like, oh, okay.
Oh,
Um, and so
never again.
over time, wait, what did you
Mm.
say?
Oh, sorry. I just
No,
said never again. That sucks.
so yeah, never again. Just got kind of ghosted, and I was like, oh, is there something wrong with me? And so over
Oh
time,
no.
like I didn't want to, and I'm sure like I maybe did that to someone too, and I don't remember a specific case when I did, but I over time and just sort of like chilled out in that aspect, and I really only like doing that sort of thing with people I'm super close to. Like now,
Mm.
sometimes random people will like just get super flirty with me and they'll try to like dom me for whatever reason, and
God,
I'll have to like back away and be like, oh, not interested, and
that's the
because
worst
it's
feeling.
like yeah, because it just makes me feel super uncomfy, and like I'm like you, like there's certain people that I wouldn't mind doing it with. It's not a huge list of people, but I think there is something to being affectionate and intimate with your closer friends, and I love VR chat in that way because you can
Yeah,
cuddle up and like
absolutely.
I can give people forehead
Mm.
kisses, and it's like I would feel a lot more uncomfy doing that IRL, I think,
Yeah,
especially with people who I even not haven't known super long, but I don't know.
it's
It's really
totally
nice.
fine.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's like
totally fine.
all of that energy inside of you can just let go, and it's a perfect place to kind of experiment with that. But
Yeah,
like you said, sometimes people get attached and affected,
yeah.
and like that's how you have to really kind of,
You gotta
I
like
don't
set
know,
boundaries
you
and
have to set boundaries, and that's something I'm
yeah,
learning too, especially as a streamer,
right.
especially as a dance streamer, because people, like, honestly, people, they they might see you dance or whatever you do, and they're like, I want to learn that, and they get close to you, and then maybe you'll do some stuff together, um and then they just ghost you, or they don't
No,
talk.
does that
Yeah,
happen
so
to
I've
you
had a lot of
too?
people, yeah, say they're interested in dance, and I'm not saying anyone I know now.
Yeah,
Usually the people who stick with it more than a few weeks will get into it if they're really interested. But they're like, I want to learn, teach me some moves. I'm like, here you go, I'll spend time with them, and then they will just never dance again, or they'll move on to something else.
Yeah.
And it just feels, I just don't want to feel like used as a streamer, you know?
Such a bad feeling.
It's a bad feeling. You know this.
Yeah, I know that feeling very well, and that's, and I am trying to get better at setting boundaries as well, and being, I guess I'm a bit, not super suspicious, but I can think of like distinct people, I won't name names, of course, who like really did come after me to like for clout or for which sounds so weird because I hate doing that. Like I don't like, I get really uncomfortable like just with the idea of getting to know someone just because they're a popular streamer or content creator or something. And I've had people definitely like approach me specifically for that reason. It's I don't know, it's uncomfy.
It's uncomfy. You just want to be treated like a normal person sometimes,
right? Yeah, I think everyone does, no matter how big or small you are. Like, you just want to be treated with love and with sincerity and kindness.
Yeah, totally. I agree, 100%.
So, I have a few questions for you.
Yeah, ask me. I think I glazed over some. Oh yeah.
So here, I mean, like, I forgot even what I asked you. What were some of your goals and aspirations when you were like younger? Do you like? I guess maybe we covered some of them. Like, maybe you were into acting and stuff. Did you always want to be like a coder, or did you want to be something else, like an astronaut or something, or?
Have you ever had the astronaut dry food? So like dried ice.
Oh, I love that. You get it. You could only get it at like the museum, right? It was all this Neapolitan. Yeah. I would go crazy over that. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
It wasn't add your own water.
It wasn't even. I would just eat it straight. I would just eat it right out of the bag at the museum. Yeah.
It's like freeze dried stuff. That stuff is so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely not an astronaut. But I think I've always been sort of a creative person, individual inside, and so like bending the rules and creating something new has always been interesting. And my parents, especially my dad, he would always like, make me listen to like top 100 hip hop music videos on the MTV or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And my mom, she's a great pianist, and she does some dancing and stuff.
That's cool.
And so I kind of always wanted to support myself through music, either through music production and recently through like dancing and stuff, which was complete like, whoa, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I start this earlier in my life?
Right.
Dancing.
Yeah.
It's perfect, and it's good for your body, like as far as being active, because it's literally the only exercise I do. Because working out is so boring.
Yeah, it can be.
So freaking boring.
Yeah.
I tried the whole gym thing.
Yeah, I don't like the
gym. Yeah. I think I also just wanted to help people. So mental health and therapy and psychology has always been so interesting to me. Kind of understand myself better when I talk to people as well. Like, I feel like when you talk to someone who has problems, like, it should be like transformative for like both you and them in a way, if you know what I mean.
No,
like,
that's so true.
Do you know
that's
what I
really
mean?
True. Yeah. Do you want to elaborate on that more?
Yeah, like even like so I've had a lot of deep, interesting talks with people in VRchat, and like if it's an honest one and I'm not just trying to like give them techniques and tips, like it changes my perspective on a situation or a way of thinking. Like, I take on how they think. Say someone's depressed, and I'm like trying to understand why they are, and you really have to put yourself in their shoes. And when you do that, you're like, oh, I can see why they would think like this, or they would be angry, or they would be upset about their boyfriend or girlfriend cheating on them or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it puts you outside of your own body and your own perspective. And so that in itself, I was just like, oh my God. That's why I love that you're doing these podcasts and that, or podcasts, these interviews, and me and Kuro are doing the podcasts, because I feel like, oh, that's just like, it's so real. It's so like honest and real, and that's something that can be lacking in VRchat. Like you can instantly become whatever you want to be,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So,
and then
but yeah, music production. But and we can talk about that later. I want to hear your thoughts on that. But,
yeah, we can talk about that later, for sure.
Yeah, I guess like 7 or 8 years ago, I saw like people at my company, IT company, like working with like colorful letters on the screen and having like clicky keyboards and stuff and listening to music and not talking to anyone. And I'm like, what is that job? I want to do that. Are they solving problems? It's like, yeah, they're coders. And I'm like, oh, I thought that was like a geeky thing to do in high school. I didn't take any coding classes in college.
Mm-hmm.
My major was mathematics.
Oh,
And
interesting. That's cool.
it's really cool. It's really helpful. And people look at that in your resume and they're like, "Oh, math. I don't know what what you're into, but you can probably work here."
Yeah, I feel like it's a very impressive
that's good
major,
secret.
mathematics. Yeah.
Yeah, you can apply to any software company or any finance company.
Yeah,
I say
right.
any, but most of them, if you have a mathematics background, they'll be like, "Oh, that's cool. Well, what's your other experience?"
Mm-hmm.
You know. So, um, I've been coding for like 5 or 6 years, and I've done hackathons. I've been to
Oh,
Google and
cool.
all kinds of different places.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, it's fun. It's good.
Um, let's change my status to
Yeah.
something else. Um, so this is you're such an empathetic person, by the way. Just going back on what you were just saying, and I love that about you. Like, I love. Oh, I've never heard you say this, but it makes me so happy that you said that. You're such a listener, and I can tell you genuinely care about people when you're talking with them, and you're just such a sincere and sweet person. And I think that's part of what made me want to interview you and just be your friend in general. Is that I just feel
Oh,
this
stop.
genuine warmth from you, and I think it's so sincere, and you're so kind. And yeah, I do think, obviously not naming names, that I feel like you, or I don't know if you've heard this, but I always hear stories of people like saying, I went to, I knew this person, and then they started streaming, and then like they became such an insincere person, or like there's this big streamer that's like super toxic, and like they just kind of used me and stuff like that. And that always like hurts my heart so much to hear when I hear like people not being treated well by people. I mean, just in general, not just in VR, right? I feel like our world, I won't get too political, but it's just lacking so much in that word, but specifically empathy and like listening and like sort of. And what she said, like actually, I think you might be, and tell me if I'm wrong, but you might be the type of person that likes to hear like both sides of a story and like really hear the other person's opinion on things, instead of just taking things at face value with what maybe someone else said or something. And I don't know. I think that's an amazing trait to have.
I do. It helps. It helps.
Yeah.
Like, I have a book I've been reading, by Marshall Rosenberg's PhD in psychology. It's called Nonviolent Communication. You can check that out. And it starts with how empathy is really the key to talk to anyone, and even yourself, without judging or labeling or having your interpretation of something kind of mess with what you should do or how you should react to it. Because say someone like spills coffee on you at a restaurant or something accidentally, And like ain't like you can choose you you can choose how you react to that, right? Um, you can let your emotions kind of guide you, and that's and then let that fuel into something like anger,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of a strategy to deal with something. Unfortunately, it might be something you've learned as a kid and just done that throughout your adult life,
Yeah.
or you can you can try to be more humble or try to practice empathy. And so I do think like listening and trying to put yourself in another person's shoes is really like the key to most relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I definitely think the world could use a little bit more empathy.
Oh. um,
Kind of forget where I was going with this though.
oh no, you're okay, and we can. And if you ever are like, hey, I remember what I was thinking of, just let me know. Going
just
back,
just just jump in.
just jump in. Yeah, I
I
wanted to.
have so much to say on that, like
Yeah,
empathy and whatnot.
you want to keep
Yeah,
going on
sure.
it? um,
Um, it's also like the key to like for me one thing um I'm such I'm very introverted and I'm also very like kind of nice
mm-hmm.
and also kind of it's a quality. I like avoid conflict. I like to
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
for sure.
Like
I'm just the same way. I don't like conflict at all.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so people like that uh I think it's assertiveness, right? And so like people like that tend to not be able to negotiate very well on their own behalf. So
Right. Yeah.
like and that not just negotiate like I want a better salary, like negotiate in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to be able to, you know, see other people or something. Or uh I want to create a schedule for the dishes so we don't get resentful and freaking, split up like 3 years later because little things build up and up and up and up. Things like that.
Yeah.
And so um and so I think yeah, empathy is definitely the way to go. Put yourself in their shoes and then also try to like try to let people know how you're feeling without blaming them. And when you do that, when you talk about your own feelings, without like saying you're the cause of the feelings, if
Mm.
that person cares for you at all, they they should become empathetic towards you. So say like you cheated on me or something and I was very like I valued that, I'd be like, when you slept with that other person, I felt really sad and empty inside.
Yeah.
Notice that's not like you're an asshole or something like that. That's a
Right.
completely different statement.
Mm-hmm.
If they care about how you feel, and it doesn't have to be like a lover, it can be a friend or a business partner, you know, um, hopefully that opens up a pathway to communication because it's a feeling, and everyone shares feelings, right? They might not share your perspective or your labeling or your judgments, but they hopefully someone can understand like sadness and happiness and
Right.
stuff like that. So yeah, I I I definitely love that topic, empathy. It's it's kind of like a superpower sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think people are drawn to that, and they can
Mm,
see when you're empathetic, when you're genuinely empathetic. I
yes,
love that. Yeah,
yes.
I love that. Not blaming the other person, but just being honest with how you feel and saying this action made me feel this way, and not being angry, not raising your
Mm-hmm.
voice or anything. It just helps so much with communicating and being open with one another. Um, aw.
Oh, yeah, and it doesn't like it. It doesn't have to be like lifeless. You can still have your feelings and everything. It's just like when you feel something, step back, and this has been my personal thing. It's just like step back, understand like where that came from,
Mm-hmm.
and then just let someone know how you feel because of XYZ, and that's completely different from you know saying judging them or calling them something like, and that's what that book is about. And so I've been reading it. There's a whole like it blew my mind. I was like, oh my god,
I'll have to read. What did you say
like
it was called again? I want to read it.
nonviolent
Nonviolent
communication.
communication. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like it's the difference between saying someone is a procrastinator, which is like a normal thing you hear people say, and
Mm-hmm.
saying um, they have not done their homework 3 times in a week.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
There's like there's the hard concrete details, and then there's the label, because that's the thing. Like these labels are very slippery slopes.
Yeah.
Like
It can be so
people,
hurtful and like
it's so
have a very
harmful to
toxic
be like,
connotation, right? Or a negative connotation at least.
yeah, to be thrown into like something,
Yeah.
into a label because of like something you did.
Right.
All of a sudden you're this and you're that, and it makes it easier to talk about and gossip about, but
Yeah.
it is not like representative of like the entire situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I think most people are good. My personal opinion are have strategies, but um, are, have good intent, at least to help themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's a selfish intent. But stuff gets lost in translation.
Yeah,
you
I
know.
was just thinking like it's so interesting that yeah, most people I think do have good intentions, at least I hope so, but there's miscommunication and
Yeah.
something that I tell people is that you can actually, and I think that's so amazing that you're talking about this and reading about it, is that you can work on your communication skills. I hear a lot of people say, oh, I don't know how to communicate, like I'll never, but like it's something I like studied because I used to be a terrible communicator and I used to be exactly what we're talking about, like angry
Mm,
and like emotional and I didn't know how to express myself, and it wasn't until I like
mm,
sort of read a lot of books about communication, or at least just strategies on how just
yeah.
to be more pleasant. Yeah, because when I was a kid, I worked in a restaurant. My parents owned a restaurant, and my dad was like, ugh, he was the worst boss ever. I would see him like screaming at his employees
Oh,
and stuff. Like it was so
fudge.
bad, and I think I did some of that, but in my heart, and now I still feel this way. I just never wanted ever to make people feel the way that he made people feel. Like I always wanted to like he had no empathy whatsoever, and like
Oh my God.
um, and I
Y-
just in college, and I was reading about, and after even and more like after college, I read some books on not that book specifically, but about like
Mm-hmm.
nonviolent communication and sort of
Yeah.
listening and learning to be sincere and stuff like that. Were you gonna say
Yeah.
something? I don't know.
No, no, I'm just so excited to hear. Because I
No.
don't get to talk about like this kind of stuff except with
Yeah.
like, if you do read it, like let me know what you
I
think
would
about it. It's
love
not a very
to.
thick book, and it
Yeah, it's
has
so
lots.
communication. I think is one of my biggest passions, and just talking with people and figuring out
Mm-hmm.
better more, and because it's something you work on your entire life. I think is communication, and there are times I'm
Totally.
sure. I mean, you're an amazing communicator. There's still times that I will say something and like that immediately I'll be like, oh, I probably shouldn't have said that, and like I'll think about it later on. But it's something you can go back and be like, okay, this didn't really work out how I said this.
Yeah.
Maybe I can say it like this next time or
That's
something.
awesome
Yeah.
that you're like retrospective on your how you talk to people.
I think
I don't
it's
think people do that
important.
a lot. Or some people don't do that a lot. I take that back. But I think you should give it time. And that's why so I also have like a Discord, a
Hmm.
private Discord, like um dedicated to like my own thoughts and like books and wisdom and
I gotta
dance
check that out.
goals, and
Yeah.
different goals and stuff. Like because I couldn't do the journal thing. I always started with the journal and then kind of forgot about it. Like a couple days later, like get a
Yeah.
nice moleskin and a nice pen, and then forget about it. But,
I kept the journal since I was like 12 or 13, but it wasn't. I never really. Thank God for computers and stuff, because I can't keep up with my handwriting. Like, typing it is so much better, and also my handwriting is so bad that I actually used to carry a notebook around with me all the time, and I would just write down notes, kind of like. I feel like most people would think I was not crazy, but they're like, what?
You're like,
I'm just in the corner, like I'm just writing down furiously, you know.
Really?
It was always my outlet, yeah, writing ever since I was young. And
do you still have that journal?
I still have a bunch of them. Like, they were like tiny little notebooks I'd carry around that I could put in my pocket and have a pen. But like, I'll look back on them and I can't read most of it, and it's so disorganized. So like, instead I just have a notepad file now that I have open, and like, it's like that monthly journal, and I write in it, and it's sort of like a stream of consciousness. I'll just sort of write it down. I'm not a today I did this and this. Though I do some things every morning. I think I was telling you and Kuro this. I write down the things that I'm grateful for, things I'm happy for in the present moment. I think that's actually an exercise that most people should do, because it's, I don't know, I think gratefulness and just being thankful, even if it's like something as simple as like a cup of tea, or like the weather is nice, or you're thankful for this friend, or that, you had enough to eat that day. I don't know. It gives me perspective anyway.
No, I tell Kuro that. Usually try to tell him that I'm grateful for him.
No.
But I'm guilty of not doing that with other friends. So like on Discord and VRC, you can meet so many people.
Yeah.
And like it's hard to, and people like sort of gravitate and come back over the months and years.
Right.
And someone told me that when I first started. I was like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, you're gonna float away from people that you meet, and it's not a bad thing. It's just what happens here, and you really have to stay on your game. Like, not your game, but I told Kuro, like, relationships are like gardens, and you have to make sure you like water them, every now and then, or they'll start to wither and die. So I'm guilty of not
sure.
Of
and
not,
it's so I mean, it's so sweet. It's also, and I'm guilty of that too. And it's just, there comes a point where you only have so much to keep going with this analogy, you only have so much water in that can, right?
Oh, like, right.
You can only,
you need some for yourself, right?
You need some for yourself, but you can only water so many plants, and you can only keep up so many relationships. And I feel so bad for that specifically, because I know there's so many people I've met in VR and through streaming, and like sometimes I'll go to their stream and it feels like I get this feeling like they're kind of upset because I didn't keep up with that relationship. But it's also like a two-way street too, like both people need to work on that relationship and communicate. But I find that the people that I'm closest with and I jive with are the ones where you plant the seed, right? You plant the seed, but the seed doesn't go away. It's still there later. And then when you come back to that person like 6 months or a year later, it's like nothing's really changed. You're still friends with them, And I love those friends that I've made, and I'm so grateful for them, where I can not talk to someone for like 6 months, but then when I see them again, we can just catch up, and it's awesome. It's wonderful,
That's so cool.
But it is really tough to balance that, and I think I actually read an article. I don't know how I got there, but I was just curious, like, how many relationships max can you have? And I think somebody did a study in like the late 1800s or 1900s where it's like you can only have like 10 to 15 close friends, and I think it was like 150 acquaintances or something, and then after that it's like you just can't do it. Like, humans are just incapable. I mean, I don't know about those numbers exactly, but it sounded about right, like you can only have so many close friends, and you can only manage, I mean, we only have so much time, and Kuro uses this term a lot, but I think just like your personal energy and your battery, like you only have so much energy to to give to people.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's hard, and it's hard to be like, who do I give this energy to? Usually it's by feel, right? It's never like, you never write pros and cons to like, should I keep this relationship up? But like, maybe sometimes you should. I don't know.
Sometimes you should. That's the kind of scary, tough question, right?
Yeah.
You're like, how much time do I spend with this person? Is this person kind of good? Is it overall a positive to have this person in my life? Because sometimes, like,
right.
I'll want to spend time with people who might not be good for me. As you know, it sounds selfish, but it's like maybe this can turn into like a blossom. Let's get blossom into something beautiful. That can turn into like I want to save this person, or I want to, get with this person to, you always hear about those kinds of relationships where someone wants to save the other person,
right,
or something like that. And it's like, you definitely want people who support you, that are genuinely happy for you when something good happens to you, and who hopefully don't get jealous when something good happens to you. So, I mean, it's like it's tough. And I think I read that thing that 100 or so acquaintances are what you can have, and 10 to 15. That sounds right?
Yeah.
Like from like evolutionary perspective, like you were in just small little tribes and little gatherings. You didn't know like 1,000 people on the interwebs.
Yeah. Right. Right.
So I do. Yeah. I've been more conscious of the people I try to keep around me, and like there's not enough time. I don't have enough time to watch streams.
Yeah.
And it's like, fudge, I wish I did, but I'm happy I met you, though.
Oh, I'm happy I met you. I want to spend more time and then spend more time with you. And even if we can, it's okay. I'm glad we're doing this.
Totally. No, I have a list of people that I said I wanted to get closer to. And I was like, am I right for writing this list?
That's so good. I think that shouldn't be as taboo as I was making it out to be. I think you should think about like, hey, at least in terms of, hey, is this person a negative influence in my life? Like, I actually recently stopped talking to like a college friend of mine, and I'm not really mad at him or anything. I just sort of noticed like as time went on and I started getting more and more into VR, and like he was sort of like really negative about my experiences, and like I just felt like, even though I've spent so much time with them in college, like, I don't know, I just don't feel good when I'm hanging out with this person.
When you're with them?
Yeah, it makes me not feel like myself, or I don't know. So I think it's good to be aware of when somebody just doesn't make you feel as good as other people, I guess, or like, I don't know. Like, not that you're like using them for anything, but if somebody's like making you feel bad.
Yeah, if they're making you feel bad, either intentionally or unintentionally. First of all,
right,
it's kind of hard to tell someone that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you tell people?
I was just, so I don't know the answer, because I was talking with a friend of mine, and they are in a relationship right now where they're super, super close with someone, but that person treats them really badly, like very abusively. But they spend but their relationship, like, I think is so cute. Like they're best friends, and they're both streamers, and they start their stream together, they end their stream together, they eat all their meals together, they sleep on call together, which is very sweet. It might be too much, but then like this person was telling me, but they like aren't a very good communicator, and they'll like sometimes get really angry with them for whatever reason, and then like leave and like not explain, and then they're hurt, and like there's like pain there, and there's genuine like miscommunication, and so there's so much good, but there's also this really hurtful part. And my friend who's being hurt, I was just like, I actually said, like, this sounds like a really kind of like abusive relationship. And I don't know if I should have said that, because I could tell they just froze up and they're like, yeah, I
Oh
know,
no.
like, and I was like, oh,
Really?
maybe I should, and I actually was watching a video from this channel, Psych to Go, and they said, like, it's a
Oh my
very,
god. My
um,
favorite channel
oh, you like
ever.
that channel, Psych to Go? Yeah, I love
Yeah.
Psych to Go.
Yeah.
Anyway, Psych to Go is like, don't say that, don't listen and be there for them. But don't be like, you're in an abusive, because for whatever I think makes sense. Like you don't want to be, because they know, I think, deep down, but you don't want to, like, because I feel like that might make them feel like they're doing something wrong. Like, you're in an abusive relationship. What are you doing? You should get out of it. Instead, just be like, hey, I'm here for you. Like, I'm sorry that's going on.
That's a tough line. That's a tough line, because who knows what other things they are in that relationship for,
Right.
sometimes.
Yeah.
I like to look at both sides of the fence, though. I don't think you're wrong for wanting to support your friend and saying, hey, the stuff you're telling me seems
right.
like it would be harmful
Yeah.
for anyone.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, you just kind of have to be careful. I think you should be definitely aware of how people make you feel. And I say make you feel, there's the language again. So, like, I think you should be responsible for your own feelings. As far as, like, I don't think anyone can make you feel a certain way. I think depending on what you need and want, something someone does can kind of trigger, like, say I always go back to the cheating thing. I don't know. Say, like, I'm with someone and they sleep with someone else. A version of me looks at that and says, I value monogamy, and because of that value, I feel angry. And B version of me is, I value openness and maybe polyamory, and because of that, I feel curious or, happy for them. And it's not that person made you feel that way. It's your values and how you think about, basically how you value certain things, that when you look at that event through that filter, you feel that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, that
and
makes
so
sense.
Yeah, you have to be you have to know, like, choose your choose your values. Choose your values. Understand why you believe in that, like, why you believe in a certain thing. You choose your and your morals as well. And then just be as honest as you possibly can be. And hopefully the best thing that happens to you is or the thing that happens to you is the best thing that could possibly happen. I really believe that. Like, if you're honest with everyone, it's hard. It's very difficult. It's not easy, but I am positive your relationships will go, like, 100% better.
Yeah.
Or you just won't be in the relationships you shouldn't be in.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to be in a relationship where there's lying on either side at all. And honestly, it seems hard, but I actually think being honest and sincere is a lot easier than, at least after you get used to it, than lying all the time. When I was a kid, I would just lie for no reason. When I was like 12, I'd be like, yeah, I'm on the ice hockey team or something, or like, just for no reason I would lie, and like, eventually I was like, why am I doing this? Because you have to, like, keep track of your lies and be like, I said this to this person, and
oh no.
And when you're, I don't know, it's not a good feeling too, and it's so bad for you, I think, because then you start, like, I don't know, you just don't know yourself as a person when you start lying like that. And I think
it's
when
pathways of sort of manipulation and stuff, right?
Yeah, and it's not good. I don't know why. I think for me it came out of just self-consciousness and not, like, really not liking myself. Yeah, but I think when I at least tried to start treating myself more with love, it's like, well, part of that is being honest with other people and yourself. And when you're honest and sincere and like, and also part of that was the people I admired most in high school and in college and growing up were not like people who like were on the football team or whatever. It was people who like were the sweet people and who were genuine and kind and honest. And I was just like, I want to be like that. I want to emulate those qualities. And so like, I don't know. I tried really hard to be honest. And like, I also don't like when people like talk badly behind people's backs. Like, I think that's such a awful thing to do. And when you hear somebody do that, it's like, well, they're probably talking badly about you too, or or maybe one of your friends or something. And it's just, I don't know. It's just so. It's not a good thing to do.
No, I think, no, I don't think it's a good thing. My mom, I love my mom, but I'm not talking bad about it, but like drama, like kind of fuels her.
Yeah.
And I think it's part of me too. So like I tend to, it's very funny. I tend to go on like negative thought tangents. Does that make sense?
I can relate to that.
You know what I mean? Like, especially in a relationship. Like, say during the subathon and stuff, I was like, I'd get off. This thought would pop up in my head, like, is this going well? Is this something that someone who loves someone else would do? And then from that like dumb thought, which may or may not mean anything, like I'd go on possible like scenarios, and I try to predict the future, and I try to look at the past and use that thought as like the filter to determine everything. It's it's not good. So I've learned to just have thoughts pop up in my head and just be like, all right, that's just noise,
Oh, that's such a good strategy.
It's noise. It's so annoying. Like, even if you're just talking to someone and then you're like, some self-conscious thought pops up in your head, it's not useful.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen based on how you think and what you're focused on, and you can just let it pass on and continue. I think that happens a lot when you're like on stage, or you're like in improv, or you're freestyling, or you're dancing, freestyle dancing. Like a thought will pop up and it'll be like, am I doing this correctly, or how are other people thinking of me right now? And it's gonna happen. It happens to everyone, right? But you don't have to focus on that. And so that's why I think what you focus on is the most important thing. What you put your attention on is the most important thing in life, and what you can do with your time in any moment.
Right.
So yeah, I went on a tangent. I forgot.
No, that's like focus. I always try to tell myself to focus on the present moment, and I've heard that technique before too. To just sort of, if there's noise that's negative, like that's just something your brain is telling you. It doesn't mean it's the truth. It's just something that's there, and it can just be noise. And you can choose to focus on, the positive things in your head, or focus on what you want to do in the present moment. When I get anxious, it's generally because I'm thinking about something stressful that might happen in the future, or that hasn't even happened yet. I get just so anxious thinking about that, or maybe
that's the sorry to interrupt you.
No,
that's like the curse of eating the apple, right? In the Garden of Eden. It's like all of a sudden you can see the future, and you're not an animal anymore, and you can like store stuff, and you can prepare for things. But sometimes, and most of the time, you're like worried about things that are not even like
that probably won't happen.
You shouldn't even need to worry about, right?
Right.
Like, this is a waste of time, and it's just kind of your brain trying to do something that it really doesn't need to do.
Well, I think part of that is, I always like to think about how our brains are and why we are, because of like how we evolved. And I think that there probably was a time where we needed to think about like foraging for the winter and stuff, and like think
Yeah,
ahead in the future.
absolutely.
And our brains are still biologically like back in hunter-gatherer mode, but we live in like a modern society, so a lot of things like in our day-to-day
Mm-hmm.
lives, just our brains, they're not designed to handle.
Probably like 90% of things, I would
Yeah.
imagine, in modern society, right?
Yeah.
Like you're on your phone and someone like says something mean on a tweet,
Yeah.
or
Right.
they someone on stream like says something weird and you're like you don't know how to react and you're like, how people are gonna react to me, and you have physical,
Yeah.
like you have literally
Yeah.
you'll sweat and you have physical. These are things like the average person like 10 hundreds of years ago didn't have to deal with.
Yeah, I was
And
just
so
thinking.
it's, yeah,
The thing you were
it's
saying, like, we're
interesting.
not used to having 1,000 people or tens of thousands of people to interact with in social media, right? Like, back then, your tribe was like, what, like 20 people or something? So when people said something, it definitely carried more weight. Like, hey, you know, you did this and it really hurt, or like, we almost got killed by
Mm-hmm.
a mammoth because of that. And like, yeah, you probably had
Yeah,
to be like, oh shit, I should not do that again, But
yeah,
nowadays it's like,
exactly.
hey, you like person X, F you, or like you like Connect 4, F you, or something, and your brain is
True.
still like, oh God, I guess I
Yeah,
suck. Like,
it's like some random dude in Wisconsin or something, and you're like, like, who am I ever gonna meet you? Maybe like, what is
no,
happening?
yeah,
Um, it's difficult, and yeah, it's. I think it's awesome that um see you and you can connect with so many people. It's really cool and
yeah.
inspiring and stuff. And yeah, I like to have more people who are more empathetic around me. And Akura's definitely,
No.
an empathetic person.
Yeah, it's good to, and it's something that we were
Mm-hmm.
talking about. It's good to surround yourself with people that have the same values as you, at least. You might not have the
Mm-hmm.
same perspective on everything, but yeah, it's good to
Mm-hmm.
surround yourself, because I really try to surround myself with people who are kind and sincere and genuine. Like, people ask me on my stream, why do you have so many cute and sweet people on your stream? And it's because I just gravitate towards those kinds of people. They make me feel good. And,
Aww,
like you. And
that's awesome.
I'm so glad you're here.
Aww, yeah.
Um,
Well, I'm very excited to see kind of. I want to see like what you come up with creatively. We talked about like film and stuff,
right,
and like,
yeah.
and I'd been thinking about that. I'm like, oh man, that's really cool. Like,
I actually wanted to write, and I'm probably only going to be talking about this more with my closer friends, because I realize, like, I don't want to put that pressure on myself to constantly tell people, hey, I'm working on a short film, because I don't want people to know until I'm actually done with it.
oh, fine.
Because I don't want, no, but it's cool. I'll talk with you, and I love my community so much. But I was just hearing that as a technique, like, don't tell people your goals until
Yeah.
you're done with them, because it might put pressure on you, and like, if you don't make them, then people might think less of you. That doesn't really matter, but something might
Yeah.
happen
That's
negatively to your self-esteem or something if you don't reach them. But I don't know.
hmm
But anyway, that
Yeah,
being
no, I heard
said,
that too.
yeah, I
Like,
don't know how true that, but there is some truth to that, I think. It's good to
yeah.
have goals, though. It's definitely good to, I think, write down your goals, and it just helps you
hmm
focus on like the things that are important to you, right? But
hmm
anyway, I one of my goals is to write short films, and also eventually like a full length film in VR. And the first idea, or like the idea I have right now, is I want to write stories about love and the
hmm
types of love that I've experienced and I've seen other people experience in VR. The beginning, the wonderful part where you fall in love,
Yes.
the pain of losing someone in VR. And
Oh man.
I don't know if but I actually
hmm
wanted to write about catfishing specifically, and you kind of got
Wow.
me thinking about that topic, because I've heard, not just with you, but I've had other friends who were catfished, and like, I don't, I can't think of somebody talking about that in VR. Usually it's like a joke, like, haha, you got trapped, whatever. And it's like, I don't know, but there's like a pain there, like that person experienced. And I had a friend who went through that, and they were still close to the person. Like, they still had feelings for the person who like catfished them. They like messaged them, and they're like, hey, you did this to me, but I still feel this way about you. And I don't know. I thought that was really interesting.
That is very interesting. Like I said, it was kind of a blessing and a curse for me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I didn't know they were a guy. And so, like, I didn't even think about, doing stuff with someone, and even in VR, who wasn't
a girl at the time.
Wasn't a girl.
Mm-hmm.
And so we definitely did stuff. And it's like, oh, fudge. You're a guy. I still feel the same way. We still had fun.
Yeah.
We're still both, well, I don't know why. We're still both in female abbeys, which I like. And I don't know, nothing's really changed, but you do, so that feeling of kind of betrayal went away really quick, at least for me. But that would be interesting to see other people's like takes on it.
Yeah.
As far as catfishing and stuff. Yeah. Be really interesting. I'm still friends with this person.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah. So
but you said they had negative intentions when it came out that they were a guy? Like, were they just messing with you, or were they sort of like unsure of themselves and like
I think they were just unsure.
Okay.
I think you get into this thing especially if you pretend to be someone else, where you get in too deep.
Yeah.
And I think he genuinely cared about me, and he didn't want to lose the relationship. So I asked him, he's like, I don't want you to think of me differently.
So that
I didn't want you to think of me differently.
I guess that is considered catfishing, but I always consider catfishing to specifically have such a negative connotation, where they specifically, I mean, I don't know if that's the true definition of it, but where they specifically try to trick you to get something out of it, or to manipulate you, or to hurt you just for no reason, or for whatever reason. Whereas I think what you're talking about is pretty common, actually, where people like don't want to unmute because they're uncomfortable sharing what they sound like, and I think yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I was gonna say, I think it's definitely, I think most commonly with two guys, or with a guy who, at least in VRC, is using a female Abby and who's mute, and then and doesn't want to unmute, and then they get into this relationship, and it's, the person finds out eventually, or maybe it ends before that, but it's not like they were trying to manipulate them, or like they had negative intentions, but they were more comfortable in this skin, sort of, and it just, one thing led to another, and I'm trying to understand that. I'm just, from when I started VRchat, I was like, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna mute. I'm not gonna get a separate account so that I can sneak behind, like, well, depends on different reasons why people get separate accounts, but I want to like let people know when I'm busy and when I'm not busy, and that sort of thing, right? Create boundaries. And
I think,
what were you saying?
No, I was gonna say, I think that's one of the things that's both great about VR, and also one of the things that might be a negative about VR, is that it gives you a place to explore an identity or part of yourself that you've never been able to explore before in real life. So in this instance, like, using an avatar that's another gender that you've never really gone to explore, and there's still so many societal sort of like, it's just again not frowned upon, but it's also not accepted by everybody, and it's just a safe space to explore, like, hey, I'm in a girl avatar and I'm being treated as a female, and it kind of feels good, and I'm kind of confused and I don't really know, but like, I like this, and I'm scared to unmute. And like that'll go into like when it gets too real, I think sometimes people will be like, "Oh, I don't know if I do like this," and they'll kind of, ghost, or like they'll kind of pull back.
Yeah.
Ghosting happens a lot, unfortunately.
So much.
Yeah. So yeah, it's both. I think it's more of a blessing, but it can be hurtful in that way. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's totally a blessing. Totally a blessing. Changed my life for sure. Like.
Oh, for sure, for me too.
Sorry. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, the first time, like, I was in VR, I was kind of. Well, the first time I was in VR and I put on like a cute cat girl avatar, like the little one, Mitch avatar, Mitch Murder avatars or something, like a cute one with like the paws and stuff, and I just looked at myself. And as my movements, I was filled with like this warmth and happiness, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like, I want to explore this side of me. This is so cool. And I wasn't really mute, but I didn't talk a ton when I first started. I was more just observing. It wasn't because I didn't want to talk to people. I was just kind of observing, and I feel like back then, at least, publics were a little bit more approachable to just hang out and kind of meet people. So I would just hang out in the Great Pug and go from instance to instance and kind of look at myself in the mirror, but also like, I remember there was like a moment when I was in the Pug and I was just hanging out with a couple people, and we were just kind of cuddling near the mirror, and one of them said like, "Man, I love VRchat." I was just like, oh. And it's, I don't know, it just made my heart feel warm, like being around people that loved this as much as I did, because I think up to that point, I had acting friends and stuff, but I never really met people who were passionate about something. I don't know. That I felt, I don't know. I didn't really have friends that had the same passion, like truly the same passions as me. Even if it's just for VR and this space where we can all like, be whatever we want to be or express ourselves in different ways. And
right, sure. It's like maybe, and it's cool because now maybe like, and like you said, you met Konata, right?
Right.
Maybe you can take like the relationships you formed and like explore how that would play out in different scenarios. It might be kind of awkward or weird. It's like you start headbatting your friends.
I was saying this to you guys on your podcast, but back in California, I felt uncomfy because, I had roommates, and I would try to be like, VR is amazing, and I try to get them into it, and they're like, yeah. But there's also part of me that was kind of scared to introduce them to like my closest friends for whatever. I don't know why. I guess I just didn't feel that comfortable with my IRL friends at all as much as my VR friends. And I feel like the people I spend time with in VR know me so much better than a lot of the people in my real life do. But when I moved to Arkansas, who is close to my friend Etoile, she's one of my best friends. Right now, I'm in a place where the only people who know me are the people who know me from VR, which is actually like a really good feeling. Like, I feel like I can genuinely just be myself. And my friend Tasty had this quote, which is like, when I first got into VR, I thought I was like wearing this mask, but in reality, I've just been wearing a mask, like IRL, this entire time, which I kind of relate to a lot. But anyway, what you're saying is like, and I've been meeting more people from VR who went and visited Atoll, and I'm really shy at first, but it's nice. It's nice to like meet people who you've spent time with in VR. And like VR, actually, I told Kanata this, because I was losing a bunch of weight last summer, and I saw them, and I was like, VR is inspiring me to like be the best version of myself, and like I want to look like my avatar, and I want to like, I don't know, I want to be all the good things that I've learned in VR, and I don't know. Do you get that way? Do you think VR has inspired you like outside of VR, like in your real life?
Yeah, no, I think. Yes. It's kind of weird because, like, most of my meaningful interactions all happen in VR.
Same.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm like in a city, in a state where I don't know anyone, well,
Mm,
more than acquaintances.
right.
So, like, things like TwitchCon and people coming over like make me nervous because I'm like,
Mm,
oh fudge, there's this, but they know me in VR. I've been starting, okay, so yeah, I've been starting to integrate kind of how I've developed in VR. I'm so comfortable and confident and dancing wise. I'm trying to like integrate that back into my IRL like mindset and my
mm-hmm.
body and stuff. Um, and so I find I find myself like being more comfortable in VR and like to be honest, when I first started VRchat and I was like in those clubs and stuff, I would be like super, you know, kind of shy and flirty and like almost a little feminine, a little kind of not myself, having
Mm-hmm.
fun, but like almost playing a character in some sense.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, especially depending on what avatar I was in.
Yeah.
And over time, and then that carried into stream and stuff too. But over time I was like, uh maybe I don't have to learn how to like have a trap voice and and like shake my hips and stuff. I still did learn how to shake my hips. But like maybe I can bring some of my culture, so like hip hop and like being half black, half Filipino, bringing that culture and then like my own like how I view things, philosophy, psychology, all that stuff. I can bring that more into VR and I'm like, okay, now I'm spending a lot of time in VR and I'm not talking to my family and my sister and my coworkers as much. And they're like, "Where have you gone? Where are you, dude?"
Yeah.
It's
Right.
like, I can't tell you. I'm going through some hardships right now because of the divorce, and I'm sure they're thinking
Oh
like I'm
wait, yeah. I
depressed
mean,
and
you
stuff.
were. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm totally. Yeah, I'm still getting used to that. So
Aw.
it's like,
Can I? I
hmm
mean, we don't have to talk. But can I ask
yeah,
how long
no,
ago that? So I just learned Sweet was married and you got divorced. Um,
yes,
and so
yes,
that
yeah.
was. And I know you said that she didn't understand VR at all. I think. What the quote you said, like
No,
we're a bunch of horny gamer nerds or something. Like is what
yeah,
you
we're just
said.
gamers who are like casually hooking up, like a
Yeah.
bunch of freaking gamers who are casually hooking up.
Yeah.
Um, and that's a question that you might want to, like, people might want to ask. Is like, is you know, kissing someone virtually, is that like cheating on someone IRL?
Yeah.
Or are you just like playing with yourself in your
Right.
room, your room?
It's a
And
really
so
tough question. I
it's
think
a
it.
tough question.
I think
It
it
is,
is more real than because when
yeah,
people are like, "Oh, it's just a game. It doesn't mean anything." I think that's
yeah.
kind of wrong.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, that's totally wrong. And
yeah.
so she's definitely, she had definitely, looking at her perspective, like, I understand. Like, I definitely,
Yeah.
I'll just tell you, like I was married with her for 2 years, dated for 9 years.
Yeah.
And, like, 2 years in, I started VRC, started streaming, didn't tell anyone I was married.
Mhm.
Just, I just didn't want that to I guess it
Oh.
was also part of my character and stuff, my
Yeah.
role that was kind of fulfilling and thinking I should present. And that's why I've been opening up about it recently because I've been more comfortable. I'm like, all right, just be honest and let what happens happen.
Yeah.
Um, and so she would like catch me, you know, going to these parties and like being really flirty and you know, um, other things. And she's like, this has to stop. Uh, you're
Yeah.
cheating on me. And I'm like, and I knew like this is what I wanted to do,
Hmm.
and this was a part of me. This is like
Yeah.
this exploring yourself, your own sexuality, exploring like what you could be, is so fulfilling.
Yeah.
To me, at least. I don't know.
It is.
And it's just like I want to keep doing this, and so, I basically, she got an apartment nearby, and she like, left that night, and I'm just sitting there like with my VR stuff. I'm like, do I go back into VR, or do I like try to patch this relationship up?
Yeah.
And for a while there, I was streaming, and I was like really sad and depressed.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want this to be a part of me. Like, I've been anxious about VR. I've been wanting to do this ever since I saw The Matrix. Ever since I started like, yeah, that kind of thing. It's like, I love streaming. I love dancing with friends and stuff, and I need someone in my life who can understand that.
Yeah.
And so obviously Kuro understands that, right? And so, I told Kuro I've never been in like serious relationship with another guy, like as deep as this is going. So like give me time, and we're gonna take this step by step. But I promise I will be honest. And so I hope I've done that so far. But it's been really good.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah, it's scary though, but it's been really good.
I was gonna say, a couple things. Like, new things can be scary, but they can be really fun, and like you get the adrenaline pumping, and then I think that's a good thing sometimes. But secondly, when you're because when you're truly passionate about something, and I think both you and me are truly passionate about VR, we have like a deep love for it. And also like when you're exploring your sexuality and you feel something so strongly, it's hard to, and almost nearly impossible to just shut that off, because if you do, you're just gonna, at least for me, I'll just keep thinking about it, and I'll like, I don't know. So I guess what I'm saying, I understand how you feel. Like, do I give this up, this thing that I love, that I really want to explore, that I'm deeply curious about?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
It's
uncharted territory.
Yeah.
It's uncharted territory. I think we are the alpha testers of like the Matrix and like that sort of thing. Virtual reality, virtual relationships and stuff. And it's gonna be like, what's more real? Like, is real having to like drive to a friend's house and hang with them, or can you be comfy at home? And
like, I feel this is just as real as
what I feel too.
Like hanging out with a friend, and I think sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it was like, obviously there's some people who don't think that's real,
right?
As real.
I think anyone who's spent a significant time in VR will say that it's as real as a quote-unquote IRL relationship, because for me, one of the reasons is you spend so much time with somebody when both people are vulnerable, when people have their defenses down. And like I've been on dates that were super awkward, and I've had friendships, and I've been to parties where I hated it and I wanted to go home. And like here you can like choose where you want to go, and if you're uncomfortable in a place, you can just go somewhere else. But the main thing is you spend so much time with people. Like you and me, we're having this conversation, and we've been talking for like a couple hours now, and like something Carl always says is like, how often do you actually talk to someone IRL? And for me, it's like 3 minutes a week or something, like to the cashier at the grocery store. Like I never talked to anyone IRL. And when I had friends, like we'd play video games together, but we'd like grunt a couple words here and there, I guess. We wouldn't have like deep, long conversations, or we wouldn't. Another thing is, I think I was talking to Kanata about this, but one of the ways to get closer to someone, and one of the love languages, is spending time with them, quality time. You don't even have to talk to somebody to feel closer with them. If I'm just in the same room with you for an entire night and we're just cuddling and listening to music, that's just as meaningful, I think. Spending that time with someone and being close with them and knowing this is a safe person that I feel comfortable with, and they feel comfortable with me, and like, you get that in VR, and that's so real. Like I can't how is that not real? Like, that time that you spend with someone is so real. And I think maybe the trick is to incorporate that in real life and be like, hey, if I were to meet this person, yeah, it would be weird at first, but, and I've noticed that it's weird at first, but it goes away really quickly, I think. Like, because it's the same person, just, they say, quote unquote, different avatar. It's the same person. And I think these relationships that we develop in VR, they're completely real. And that's, I think, one of the reasons I'm so excited to go to TwitchCon and meet everyone, because it's like, hey, like, I don't know, I just want to bring, it's more like, I just want to bring this more into my real life. Like, I want to, right? Yeah.
I think it, for me, I do think it's spilling, I say spilling over into my real life. Like, I had a conversation with a coworker, and I could feel myself being more, I could feel myself as if I was in VRC. Like, there's like, you feel more vulnerable, but you also feel like you can be more honest and more blunt about things.
Yeah.
Whereas before, like, it was a coworker, like I'd have this like coworker kind of vibe role going on, as opposed to like, you know, sweet heat kind of vibe going on. And I feel like those two are merging as far as the personalities. So, you know, if someone like were to mention thigh highs in IRL, you know, someone I wouldn't like bat an eye, like bat an eyelash. Like, I would just be like completely fine.
Yeah.
You know, anything related to kind of, like, I feel like the, you know, like the more feminine side of me is kind of integrated into my day to day, which,
yeah,
I think it kind of was before, because
no, I don't totally understand that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to explain.
No, I totally understand. I totally 1,000,000% understand that. And I think it's for me, it's been a gradual thing, I guess, over the last few years that I've been in VR exploring my feminine side. It was always there. Like, when I was younger, I like was like, I would like put on my mom's clothes and stuff when she was gone. I mean, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was like young. I was like 5 in my mom's closet, but then I was like 10 or 11, like when my mom wasn't home, I'd like try them on. It wasn't like a sexual thing or anything. I was just like, I kind of like this. I kind of like looking more feminine, I guess. But it's so like, especially back then, it's like definitely more taboo. I think now I joke, like, I guess femboys and feminine, like being more feminine is being more and more accepted in mainstream culture. Maybe not mainstream culture, but yeah, mainstream culture. I know, internet culture at least, and I think that's awesome. I think that's amazing, and like I said, I'm in a place now. Arkansas is not the most liberal place, but the friends I have here know me as like my most feminine side, and I'm comfortable being that person.
That's cool. That's really cool. I need friends. I'm gonna move to Arkansas.
I'll be your friend. Well, I was gonna say I don't know how far Dallas is pretty far for me, but I was actually planning a Texas trip this summer. Yeah. I might drive all 3 big cities: San Antonio, Dallas, Houston. I'm not sure yet.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, because I know you're not going to TwitchCon, right? You want to go to EU TwitchCon? From what you said,
I want to go to both TwitchCons.
Oh, you want to go to both? Okay, well, if you go to the second one, I'll hang out with you in
definitely
October.
Definitely go to San Fran?
San Diego, I think.
San Diego?
Yeah.
Definitely going there. Even though I'm nervous as fudge, like, I you know, YOLO, I want to meet people.
Yeah. And like, you're going to, you haven't met Kuro yet, right? Are you going to, I mean, I know Kuro wants to go, probably.
I definitely need to freaking, I want to go up to New York, actually.
Right.
And have him maybe show me around and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's also a very nervous thing, extremely nervous thing.
Yeah, so I was going to ask, so you met Kanata IRL, right? Was that the first time you met somebody? Have you met somebody since then in VR?
The first person to come over to my place was Lulu.
Oh, okay. We were
kind of in this sort of relationship. Well, definitely liked each other. For sure. And so like he came by, and that was super nervous, but it was such a good time. He spent the night.
He's so sweet.
And
cute.
It was weird because it's like, you know, but it like at first it was a little awkward. I'm like, oh fudge.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what to say or do, and then I'm just like, just act normal, just be yourself, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That kind of takes over, and then there's a bunch of cool, fun stuff you could do IRL, like go out to eat together.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, there's all that stuff. So, um, but then, so that was the first, and then Konada was the second, which was only a couple months ago. Konada came over, and he cleaned my entire house.
Wait, what?
My entire kitchen.
What? Really?
I went to stream for like 3 or 4 hours and did like
they're so
did
sweet.
A horror game.
Yeah.
And I came out and my entire kitchen was organized and cleaned, and the fridge was too. And it had not been cleaned since the divorce, and it was so sweet. And he was like, "That's my OCD." my OCD kicking in. But he was like,
they're so sweet.
He's so sweet. We actually went out to the park together.
Yeah.
And we danced in a public park, and people were like, they were taking wedding pictures and stuff, and we were just out there dancing like it was like VRC Public World or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they love
great.
You. They love it. They take me to parks like the couple times I've seen them. Yeah, and then I don't dance, so I'll like play music, and then they'll dance and stuff. And,
they'll dance. Aw, that's sweet.
That's really sweet. Have you met anyone else? Or sorry, you can continue with that
not.
too. No, okay. Do you live by yourself, by the way, or do you have roommates?
Actually, I did. I met some other people. We did a meetup with me, Mayobi, Ron.
Oh, Ron
Lulu.
Too. Cool.
Yeah, Ron. That was crazy seeing him. He's like such a tiny.
Didn't he used to live in Texas before?
He did used to live in Texas.
Yeah, I think he's in like Germany or something now. Yeah.
So he actually wants to meet up at TwitchCon Amsterdam.
Aww.
So yeah,
I wish I could go. Cool. I would love to go to eat. I can't afford it. Next year though. Maybe I will put up a donation goal for that. I don't know. Because I would love to meet EU people. Maybe next year. Because also it's just hard to travel right now.
It is. Who knows what gonna be going on.
Especially now. Like I was just thinking of COVID, but like especially now, it's probably like I don't know.
Kind of scary.
Amsterdam would be okay, but who knows? Who knows in July? You know.
But yeah.
And how did you so it was like it was weird at first, but I'm sure like after a while it was comfy, right? Because these are people you know, like in VR, like.
These are people you know in VR. Like everyone I know in VR uses a female Abby though as well.
Yeah. So suddenly everyone's like a guy. Yeah.
I can imagine like doing stuff with someone in VR and then meeting them for the first time. It's like, Butch, this is strange. This is weird. I don't know if that's ever happened to you.
So that is actually also something I was kind of wanting to write about, which is I think is actually very valid and something that maybe doesn't get talked enough about, which is like you see someone and they're in a female avatar, or they're in an avatar that's cute and attractive, and that's awesome. And then you see them IRL and you're like, oh, maybe I'm not so attracted to this person, or maybe I would feel uncomfortable. And it like fills me with like mixed feelings, and I'm like, I don't know.
Kind of, I think it fudges you up. I think it messes with you, especially if you grew up in, you grew up looking at pictures of attractive people, you know, that sort of thing is like been in your head. And for good reason, because like usually the personality and appearance is not separated, right?
Right.
And so now we're in this unexplored territory where you can be whatever you can look however you want to. And so when you meet up with someone IRL, it's kind of like, what? Your voice is coming out of this person.
That's her. Yeah.
What's happening? And so, I mean, I definitely am happy with how I look and stuff. Completely different. Not completely, but I tend to dress the same and have the same vibe and stuff. But to see friends IRL.
That's so, because see, I actually wasn't when I first started playing VR, and I spent a lot of time, and even now I am in preparation for TwitchCon to look more like, not exactly like my avatar, but to look. I want to look cuter IRL because I want my personality to match like the vibe I give off in VR. You know.
You give off an awesome, cute vibe.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and I think I do give off a similar vibe IRL, but I am just more self-conscious, I guess, IRL. Because I think that's one of the greatest parts about VR is that it is all personality, and you really get to meet someone without being like, okay, this person sucks, but they're beautiful, so I still want to like be their friend, you know. Like, but that doesn't usually happen, but like sometimes it does. I don't know.
That happens more IRL than
right. It does. Like, you know, this. I mean, you don't think that, but it's like, oh, they like blind you with how beautiful they are physically, right? You're like, oh, they're actually kind of a shitty person, or they're somebody that if I wasn't so physically attracted to them, I probably would have nothing to do with them. But in VR, it's like, it's so much better than that because I think you really should know people based on their personality. And my friend Callie has this quote that's like, the person you see here is who I actually am. Like, it's so much more indicative of who I am than the randomizer assigned to me at birth, which I think is such a poignant quote. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, I don't know. You still exist in real life too at the same time, you know.
I think you can still it's crazy with technology. I mean, you can still, and maybe someone would argue should take responsibility for like the dice roll you were given when you're born.
I agree. Even I agree with that too. Like, I see both sides, and I actually deeply. I guess I agree more with Callie, but I do get what you're saying. Like, that's why I want to take better care of my body and be like, hey, I want to at least look my best with the hand that I was dealt. You know, I don't know. And you can,
at the very least, like, take care of your health, right? So you can spend many more moments with friends and stuff in VR.
Oh, that's something I think about all the time. It's just, you seem like a healthy person, but I've gone through time, and I'm trying to be more healthy as I get older. But I've spent, and I'm not proud of it, but I spent a lot of my 20s, like, just partying and not taking care of myself. And, like, it wasn't until really the last few years where I found a place in a community that I love so much. And I've never been happier than I have been the last few years. And it really inspires me to want to take care of myself so I can be here, as long as I can, right?
As long as you can, right? And whatever roller coaster ride continues, you can be part of. Well, I have like.
How are you doing, by the way? Are you good? We're almost at the 2-hour mark, and I could feel.
Use the restroom.
Restroom? Yeah, me too. You want to take a break, and then all right, we're gonna take like a 5-minute break or however long you need. Take your time. I'll put the BRB screen on, and we'll put on some music. Thank you guys for being here and watching, and maybe I'll read some of I'm going to run to the bathroom too, but maybe I'll just address some of you in the chat when I get back, and then I'll continue with Sweet. I hope you guys have been having I actually saw Kanata in the chat briefly. Hi, Kanata. We're going to go to the bathroom. I'll put a BRB screen on. I love you guys. I hope you guys have been enjoying this. I've been thoroughly enjoying talking with Sweet.
It's been awesome.
So I love you guys. BRB. This song.
My VRchat crashed.
Wait, what'd you say? Did you crash?
Yeah, I'm joining again.
Okay, sounds good. I'll take my VRB screen off because it's me, and I'm just gonna, I guess, talk with chat for a little bit. Let me open up another window and just say hi to some people. And I hope, is everything good? Like the volume good? And hi, Pencer Moracle, how are you? Hi, Myra Cutie. Hi, Dark Fader. Hi, Aina. How are you? Girza, I love you. I love you, Angel Tail. Farisu, VRC Avatar cosplay IRL? Maybe. I will be, I think, wearing cute clothes at TwitchCon, probably. So, whatever that means. Hi, Kitty DVR. By the way, our next guest. I'm excited. Our next guest on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central is going to be Kitty DVR. Kitty DVR. Poggers. And Kanashi, hi, yes, sir. I love you. By the way, yes, sir, donated $100 off stream. I set a donation goal for a 3DO ASMR mic. So if anyone's interested in contributing to that, because it's unfortunately with tax and everything, it came out to be like $750, which is a lot, but I'm not in a rush to raise money for it. I figure if it takes us like a couple months or a few months to raise money for it, great. Will you ask about the mortal enemies? Maybe I will. I mean, we can talk about anything. Now I might, actually, that you bring that up. I might ask about Kitty's mortal enemies. I don't think the person I was talking about on stream was actually their mortal enemy. It's just someone who they were like, this person kind of sucks. And I was like, yeah. Thank you for the follow, by the way, Kavan. Wait, was there a hype train that went on while I was gone? Keck W? Wait, what is this that I see here? Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Am I on red? Oh, I'm on red. I'm sorry, Sweet. Lol. I forgot. Thank you. I was like, where's Sweet?
People leave.
People leave. Thank you for all the follows and Wolfie. Whoa, Wolfie VR rated me with 68 people. That is crazy. Thank you so much, Wolfie VR. I don't know if they're still here, but I got follows. And Traxie, Traxie rated me too. And I was gone. Shed, Sage Mage, Light Afton, Mecha, Squirrel, Galaxia. I think it's Tyru, Wolf Darkness, Dust Juju, Paul Pearson, Dogwater, Tokyo Alex, Game Boy, Lowy, Kevon, and Amtkibus. Thank you guys for the follows. I will probably be DMing all these people. I generally try to DM people when they follow me, and I didn't get to say it on stream. Thank you for Lumichu, I love you. Thank you for the gift subs, Sunshine, Angel Tail, and Aina. I really appreciate it. And Dark Fader for the resub a couple hours ago. And now I am going to go back on my way to destroy my mortal enemies. I am going to go back to Sweet, and I'm going to probably not pay attention to chat until the end. And at the end, I think I'm going to do something similar to you guys did. Welcome back, by the way, sweetie. And do like a Q&A and stuff, and have chat and ask a couple if they have any questions for Sweet. Or me, I guess, but mostly for Sweet.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah. How are you feeling?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I was probably... What time is it?
It's 9, so I was thinking of... Yeah, we could talk a little bit longer, and then I guess we could wrap it up in a bit. I mean, I feel like I could talk to you forever, and I wouldn't mind if you wouldn't mind having you on again in the future. I would love to talk with you again.
Absolutely. Well, I was talking to Kuro. I was like, I want old girls on a lot more.
I would love to be on your podcast more, too. Like I said, I'd love to be a regular co-host or guest, or... Just my schedule. I usually could make it on Wednesdays, but sometimes I might not be able to. But just let me know. Keep me in the loop, and I'd love to. And by the way, Kuro and Sweet Heat are doing something called the Index Podcast. And I was lucky. I was I was fortunate, and I'm very honored that you guys had me on your first episode. And it was really, I loved it. It was so fun just talking with y'all. But Sweet Heat was very quiet during that one, so I was like, I want to interview Sweet Heat and talk to you.
I'm always very quiet. Kuro always interrupts me.
Called out.
It comes with being a listener, I guess. Listening to people, which is something I've done like ever since I've started VRC. Just listen to people, listen. And like sometimes, you gotta just say what's on your mind and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah. I think, and I don't really talk about this a lot. I don't know if anyone else has this feeling, but sometimes as a good listener, you can listen to people and be there and support, and then not really ever put your thoughts or ideas or like wants or needs in front or at any time, and then that turns into resentment. And then for me, I've been guilty of not like I haven't always been sweet. Like I'll ghost someone and then they'll wonder why.
Yeah.
And then it's like, it's because I wasn't truthful with you from the beginning, kind of thing. And so like I've been guilty of that over my life, and I promise like to never do that again. And it's like, but yeah.
I know, that's so relatable. I feel the same way. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like I'll go a long time without communicating how I feel towards someone, and then that word resentment, I'll get resentful, and like it's just because I didn't communicate with them. It isn't really because they did anything wrong. I just didn't.
I know. It's like they're just being themselves.
Yeah, and
like,
I just sort of
listener.
Yeah, and eventually you listen and listen and listen, and I think it's not a downside, but one of the things about being empathetic is that for me anyway, I emotionally also take on certain emotions that other people put on me. Well, they don't put on me, but like if someone's sad, then I'll get sad, or if they're angry, I get a little upset. And eventually, like if you keep doing that and doing that without letting people know how you feel, it gets overwhelming. And I definitely kind of break down sometimes, and in a way, I ghost my whole community. Like when I was gone in December, I was gone for like a month, and I wish I wasn't, but I was just so overwhelmed with emotion.
I kind of remember that.
Yeah, I took a break for a month just because I was so emotionally stressed out, and I felt like I was spreading myself way too thin, and I was exhausted, and I wasn't putting my needs first. And that's something I have been streaming a lot recently, but I've been trying my best to take care of myself. And if something bothers me, I'll let people know. If I'm not feeling good, then I won't stream that day, and it's good to let it out sometimes and vent. But also it's like you need those people that you're comfy with venting to, right? You can't just vent, or at least I can't just vent to anybody. I don't know.
I like to listen to people.
I like to listen to people too. I don't mean to say
times people talk, like you talk to me, and it's like a song, and I want to hear like all of it, and then think about how I think about it or what I think of it, and then I'll talk back. But it'll never be like a thought. I'm just like cut you off unless I'm really excited. Usually I'll cut someone off when I'm really excited to talk about something, because I'm such a psychology, philosophy nut, and I love podcasts and interviews. Like I've been recently addicted to like the Joe Rogan podcast, just because so many interesting people on there. So I'm definitely gonna watch as you bring more and more people on and stuff.
I love podcasts, and actually I didn't think about this, but when you guys asked me like what one of my or what my aspirations are if I didn't have streaming, I said, like, I mentioned film and stuff, which is true, but I also actually always wanted to do interviews and stuff. Like, I would listen to this show called Fresh Air on NPR with this lady.
Oh
Terry
my God,
Gross.
Fresh Air.
I love Fresh Air. Terry Gross.
Did you listen to Ira Glass? This is Ira Glass. He was on NPR News.
I know Ira. Yeah, I have. Not as much as Terry Gross, but yeah, I have heard.
Terry Gross, yeah.
But I just love interviews, and I'm just so, and I think maybe that's why you're doing podcasts too, is because I genuinely love people, and I love talking with them, and I love hearing what they have to say. So in a way, yeah, this is like the ultimate form of listening to someone, is having a show where you have people on and just listen to them. It's great. I don't know. I always wanted to do that, and I always wanted to like showcase my friends and give people a platform to.
Oh, that's interesting. Showcase your friends.
Yeah.
I kind of want to do that with dancing a little bit.
Yeah.
Dancers, like, come on, maybe have 5 to 10 minutes where you do like your own thing, and I can film you and stuff, and then move on to the next one, and then just have like a showcase. I think it'd be really cool.
That would be so cool. I would definitely watch that.
Or yeah, kind of Kuro does something similar with the talent show, which by the way, he freaking, can I get some more songs? Songs?
I'll play you something sometime. Sure.
Oh, yeah, I need to pick up my guitar.
Oh, you play guitar? Cool.
I do.
I was gonna ask you if you played an instrument. That's awesome. Yeah, what kind of guitar do you like to play? Do you play like electric or acoustic or classical?
I started off with classical. I was kind of classically trained for a year and a half, and then I moved on to electric.
Cool.
And I have my Fender Jazzmaster sitting in the other room, and I have plenty of pedals.
Oh, punk.
But yeah, I like to play. Honestly, I go through phases, but I liked like old school Paramore songs, playing those and singing to those, and alt rock is awesome. Incubus, like Rage Against the Machine, those kinds of bands that were like emotionally charged and stuff. I kind of got tired of how guitar sounds though, and so I moved. Yeah, like because you always have that twang, right? And so like it's hard to do hip hop.
Right. Yeah. Right.
You know, you can't be like dish 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 dish.
Yeah.
With a guitar, unless you're John Mayer or something, and you're like, I like to. Yeah, I have an acoustic, and I like to do like making the beat while you kind of play and stuff. It's really cool. But yeah, I recently I've been just kind of focused on making stuff in Ableton Live, which is like a music production tool. I have some interesting beats and stuff that I've made over the years with all kinds of equipment. Music has always been there for me when I'm feeling bad or sad or whatever.
That's so relatable. I think most people are just sad sometimes, but I feel like when I hang out with my musician friends, it feels like, I don't know, music just makes the sadness maybe not go away, but I just feel better too. When I feel like I gravitate towards music most when I'm sad. Like,
I asked Kura this question I want to ask you. So
yeah.
Would you I don't know how to. Would you rather have sadness for the rest of your life without happiness, or happiness for the rest of your life without any kind of sadness?
Would I rather have sadness without happiness, or happiness?
Okay, hold on. Maybe a better question is, which one makes you feel more?
It's an interesting question, because I think which one do you want more, or affects you more emotionally, or inspires you more?
Yeah, which one is? Oh, I guess that's multiple things. So I asked him which would you rather feel for the rest of your life, and he said sadness because it has more quality.
I feel like it's an interesting question. I just feel they're so intertwined with each other, because
they're so intertwined, right?
Because like happiness is the lack of sadness, and sadness is like the lack of not 100% really, but generally like I appreciate happiness because of the times that I've been sad, and I've been sad a lot in my life.
Okay. So
and I would say most of the time I'm somewhere in between, right? I'm not super sad, but I'm not like laughing and jumping for joy. It's more like contentment is what I would classify it as. But like, I don't know. That's a great question. I would want to say happiness. I'd want to be happy for the rest of my life, but there are times when well, there's times where you need to be sad. Like, I'm thinking of this kind of dorky, but there's like, I don't know if you watch One Piece, but there's this thing in this anime One Piece where there's like this fruit that they gave to like the citizens of this town, and if they eat it, like they can't be sad, like they can only laugh and stuff, and it's like so tragic because like their relatives will be dying and they're like laughing and they can't help it, and it's like it's like so messed up. It's like so that would be like horrifying if you couldn't express sadness, right? Because there are times when it's okay to be sad, where you should be sad.
So a lot of dancers I know, Myobi, Ron and stuff, they're like, when I'm sad or like feeling upset about something, those are like some of my best dances come out, right? Most emotional dances. And same thing with like music makers and stuff. I know for me, I used to write poetry, and to get the best poetry, I'd have to like put myself in some kind of emotional state.
Right.
And happiness wasn't the best the best way to write a poem, especially if I wanted it to be deep and meaningful. And so I definitely,
in terms of creativity, I think sadness definitely inspires me more. Like with my writing lately, for the films that I want to do, it's all sadness pretty much. It's all sadness that's been inspiring me, that I think about. And for music too, when I sing from a place sometimes when I think about the times I've been sad or
and that's such a big emotion, right? Sadness. It could be also
that's a wide range.
Sad or confusion or anxiousness or something. So I say sadness with like general negative emotions.
Maybe unpleasant or uncomfortable emotions.
Uncomfortable, yeah. Doesn't necessarily make you smile, but it can be just as meaningful for you,
Yeah.
So that stuff is so interesting to me. That's why
That's such an interesting question.
I was like, wait a second. I think we both feel the same way. We talk about even on the podcast show, we talked about some really like kind of deep topics, like really stuff that's like not really pleasant and stuff. And I think it's nice to have that because it really like makes you feel a certain way. I don't know.
I was just the first thing that came up in my head is it makes me feel less lonely in a way, because like I don't know, when I'm lonely I'm usually stuck feeling certain sad emotions, and being able to talk about them with other people makes me feel not so alone about it, and like expressing my sadness to people that are, because I guess I say that because growing up I was like really alone emotionally. My best friend was a pen pal that I had, and she lived in Canada. And other than that, I didn't really have anyone. I didn't really have many friends growing up. And so to finally, I guess, have a place with you and my friend now to talk about things that bother me, it's nice. It makes me happy to talk about the things I'm sad about.
It makes me happy to talk about the things I'm sad about. Oh my god. Well, that's that empathy.
Yeah. Have some more water too.
But yeah, so do you have any? I guess you have any other questions for me?
Yeah, I had some random ones. If you talk about some fun stuff too, I actually want to talk to you about food. which I think I wanted to pick your brain about food for a while. I know you actually, I think you probably have picked my brain about it, but I remember you saying it during the podcast. You had stuff you wanted to pick my brain about. I'm sure we've covered some of it, but I don't know if there's anything specific you were talking about that I don't know if you remember saying that, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, first, what's your, oh man, do you have a favorite, do you have a comfort food? Do you have a guilty pleasure food?
You know, recently I've been on keto, so like I haven't had a ton. I guess my keto comfort foods are I got like prosciutto and pancetta. I think like high quality meats. I got Gouda, which I really like. Gouda is a comfort food. But if I wasn't dieting, like I don't have one thing because I love food so much. I love Korean barbecue. That's what I was thinking of. Sushi. Regular, I say regular, but like American. I want to have like good Texas barbecue. I haven't had it yet, and everyone's like, it's so good. Like everyone's like, it's so good. You got me. I would love to have that. Yeah, like pizza is a comfort food, like a good burger. I love when I was in Canada. Poutine was like the ultimate comfort food. You can't really get it. Have you heard of poutine? It's just like
gravy.
It's like gravy. I guess you don't like gravy. It's like gravy and fries and cheese. It's so good. But for some people don't like it. But I like it. I don't know. I'm everything. I love so many different types of food, like pudding, creme brulee. Oh, I don't know. Oh my God. It's all good.
Oh my God.
Do you have like a specific comfort food though? Like
bacon? I don't.
Oh, I love bacon. Yeah, bacon is pretty good. Yeah.
Comfort food is bacon. I'm just like
just cook up some bacon when you're sad. That sounds good. Oh.
It's good. I just had some cheesecake earlier.
Oh, that's definitely one cheesecake.
That's a good like sensual. Some food makes me feel sensual. Like
yeah, cheesecake is.
I'm not into it, but I like to. Food makes me feel sensual sometimes, like a certain way, and I guess I'm a foodie in that way.
Yeah.
Like I totally bring food into like the bed if I get bed.
You know, I was actually watching this movie called Tampopo, and it's about food. Yeah. I think you would really like this movie. It's a Japanese movie about a woman who like she has a ramen shop and it's like terrible, and then these two like, it's like a kind of like a. You know, like spaghetti Western movies and stuff, like where there's like, it's like kind of like a play on that. It's called a ramen Western, where these two guys like help her like build a ramen shop. But there's like side stories about food, and there's one side story with this guy and his girlfriend. He's like a gangster or something, but like he's super sensual with his girlfriend, and like there's a scene where he like puts salt like over her breasts and like whipped cream and stuff and like there's like a lobster. There's like a scene where he puts a lobster on her stomach and like lets it crawl around, and then he like eats the lobster, and like there's like an iconic scene from that movie where he cracks an egg open and he puts the yolk in his mouth, and then he passes it into her mouth, and then she like passes it into his mouth, and like they do this like over and over, and they're just like making out with this egg yolk in their mouth. Anyway, that's what I think about. Like food can be super sensual. Like it's, I don't know, it makes you feel things that like nothing else makes you feel. Food, like it makes you feel warm, it makes you feel like comforted, loved.
It's one of those things, it transcends language.
And it's also like, well, I was thinking it's like a love language, because my dad would always cook for me and my mom would cook for me, and it was a way for them to show me that they loved me. And you can feel the love, when you eat something that's cooked by someone you care about or that loves you, or at least I feel that way. What were you gonna say?
No, it's definitely transcends a couple things. Like I know my friend Malone, he's a great chef, but he's also a great dancer. Yeah. And I think it's similar. Like it's so similar to expressing yourself. Food. Yeah. Like if you like strawberries and whipped cream, maybe. Like that's sort of an expression of what you value and stuff. So I definitely like my sweet things being Filipino. Yeah. I don't know why it's in my blood.
Oh, I didn't know that. I guess.
Yeah, no, yeah. The culture,
Love
the
sweet
food is
things.
very like sweet meats and stuff.
I
Yeah,
always
we
think
like
of like lumpia or like maybe sisig. Oh,
fudge. Yeah, that's good too. That's more, well, that's more savory
yeah, that's more
types of
savory stuff.
lumpia.
I haven't had like
Oh
sweet
God.
Filipino stuff, but that sounds good. That
Yeah,
sounds
I
really
should learn.
good.
I should learn from my mom. I don't know very much. Usually that's passed on. The women pass on the cooking and stuff. Sometimes the
Yeah.
guys. Um, but and then I have black side of my family, which is all southern soul food and stuff. So,
Like, what's some good soul food that you like?
oh man, green beans, potatoes, tomatoes. No, have you heard that meme?
No, I haven't heard that meme,
Um,
but I was thinking like, yeah,
I,
I've heard this as soul food
greens,
before.
beans, potatoes, tomatoes, lambs, rams, hogs, moths. I'll have to send it to you. This lady in church, and she's
Oh,
like, yeah, and she's like praising. She's so grateful for Thanksgiving. She's like, y'all need to come over. You name it,
oh,
I got it. Greens,
oh,
beans, potatoes, tomatoes. So like all those
oh.
things are so good.
Yeah.
My grandmother used to make like um cake, like angel food, or like angel pound cake or something.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
7-Up, that sort of thing. And black eyed peas, cornbread, catfish. It's a big thing in Louisiana. So my dad's side of the family's from Louisiana, and so catfish, hush puppies, gumbo, all those kind of Cajun influenced French cuisines were always really, really.
Oh, Cajun food
And
sounds
so
so
yeah,
good.
I know. I wish I could cook more. I spend so much money on DoorDash. It's
Oh, isn't it? Oh
ridiculous.
man, I've spent way too much money on
So
DoorDash, especially
much.
when I first moved to Arkansas. I had
So
it for like 2 months, 3 months straight.
uh,
It's hard when you're
those-
like working and you're streaming, and I actually recently did I'm technically getting all my meals delivered to me still, but I'm using a food service
really?
instead of using DoorDash.
What are you using?
It's called
Yeah.
Factor, and like the meals are already pre-made, which sounds
Mm.
like they could be iffy, but they're really good. I'll send you a link after
I
stream.
think
There, I
so. I
try
know I
it. I don't
used to
know.
do keto for a little bit
Yeah,
as well. Yeah,
it
because I
works.
really
And
wanted to feel ketosis, and
yeah, and
so
like it actually, I mean, ketosis is a thing. It really works. And if you're trying to diet and stuff and you don't have the time to cook, and I just don't cook a lot. I wish I cooked more, but I just work all the time and I stream, and sometimes it's just hard to find the time. And it's all pre-made and like they're keto ready, and like the meals are like all. And I'm not sponsored by them or anything. It's just something that I've
just
tried
make
out,
fun joke.
and it's something like I don't know. It's nice to have. They're delivered every Wednesday, and they have these cool ice packs that keep the food cold. You just put it in your fridge, you microwave it for a couple minutes, and it's really good. It sounds weird that microwavable meals would be like delicious, but they're actually like really high quality. I don't know. I'd give it a try.
Understand that? It's microwavable?
Yeah, for two
I don't have.
minutes, and then you can. I think you can put it in the oven if you want instead, but I mean it
I
takes a lot
would
more time. But
totally try that. It's
it's
probably
good.
better
I would
than
try.
oven.
I would try it. It's. I think you get like half
Mm.
off your first box or something. So each meal would turn out to be like usually each meal is about $10, $11. So with the discounter, I feel like I'm sponsored by them, but it's cheaper than like I would spend like $40 on DoorDash. Like
I
and
know,
like
I
that
know.
adds up really. I was just burning
$10
through
so
my
much.
savings, and I feel so terrible. But I mean now I'm not. So. Hmm.
Mm.
And you can complement it like with groceries and stuff, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you so do you get DoorDash all the time? Do you ever get groceries? Like
I get DoorDash every day,
I feel like Bob and
all the
Kanata are
time.
looking down on us,
So sad. They
right?
probably are right now. They give me, and I mean, it's pros and cons. Definitely, obviously, it's freaking expensive as hell.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I usually try to like cycle out what I get and like get a sandwich or get like. I mean, I
True.
still have normal groceries too. The one thing I have are
Yeah.
drinks because drinks
Okay.
are always so expensive from
Right.
restaurants and stuff.
What kind of drinks do you
So,
like? Do you stock up on?
I in this I don't know why, like cream soda.
Cream soda is so good.
I always have to have cream soda after.
Oh, that's so wholesome. You're so cute. I don't know why that's so cute. Oh, yeah, cream soda. Yeah. Cream soda's yummy.
Yeah, cream soda and then water, mostly. Cranberry juice, but I usually mix that with vodka, but that's a different story.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah.
Do you get anything else? Do you like have snacks on hand or something that you always get? Or do you have like eggs? Do you get cereal? Do you get milk? Like,
I have a box of Fruity Pebbles on my desk. I occasionally stick my hand in.
Fruity Pebbles are so underrated, I think.
They're freaking amazing.
They're really good.
So good.
They're so good.
Are made based off of the cereal.
Oh, that's true, huh? Right? Yeah, like Rice Krispie treats or something, or like
or
weed edibles or something.
Kind of Fruity Pebbles. Yeah. Listen, I might have a vape on my desk. That's Fruity.
That's Fruity Pebbles. Yeah, right. Exactly.
I was like, I saw them. Like, I'm getting that. Yes, I love it. It's so delicious. I don't have milk. I just have the.
You just have Fruity Pebbles.
I just have the.
Do you take vitamins, like supplements and stuff? Or you do? What do you take?
I have interesting. So I have normal multivitamin. Which is good, but I also sometimes I take serotonin.
Oh, you can take pure serotonin? I take 5-HTP, which I think is a precursor to that. Or I mean,
oh, that might be it.
Okay, yeah.
That might be it. 5-HTP. Is that it? My sister gave me some, and I was like,
yeah, it's not. It helps.
Sometimes I try to pop it if I'm like in a bad mood or something. I have melatonin for when I go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I just like tonight I'll need to go to sleep, but I'll probably be super wired. Because I'm so excited to talk to you. Yeah. but yeah, sometimes I take like 2 or 3 melatonin.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of hard to go to sleep sometimes.
It is hard. I have like a sleepy time tea that I drink sometimes, and stretching really helps, or like I don't do this enough, but like taking a hot shower and like having clean sheets, definitely a thing that helps me sleep better.
Yeah.
How often do you clean your sheets? Is that too personal of a question?
Oh, I was gonna ask you, are you dating someone right now?
Am I dating someone? No, I'm not. I was actually saying this, I don't know if I told you guys, but it's like, it's been a while since I've like been in love with somebody. I mean, I don't say that like as a sad thing. I love my community and I love my close friends, and I haven't like, I mean, I have like slight crushes and I've had flings here or there, but I haven't like been head over heels in love with someone for a while. Maybe it's because I've been hurt a lot and I'm just like don't want that, and also it's okay. And the last relationship I was in, I still love that person, but not in a, I hate saying it, but not like, I just couldn't see myself with them the rest of my life. And it was really tough on me breaking up with her. I didn't want to, and they didn't. It was the first relationship I've ever been in where they literally did nothing wrong. Well, I can't say nothing, but like they didn't do anything where they deserved to be broken up with. They didn't cheat on me. They treated me with love and kindness, and I just didn't feel it after a while. And it's so hard to say that. It just, but I think that's a common thing. Like you can't force that guttural like love and attraction to someone. And I don't know. Ever since then, I kind of haven't really fallen for anyone. I mean, I'm so like, I love you and I love my friends and I genuinely have love in my heart for so many people. But I haven't really. And part of it also is that, I mean, there are people I would date, honestly, and I'm sure it could develop into that. But part of the reason I broke up with that person too is that I hate it, but I'm so busy, and I barely have time for like my close friends, and I just feel like, I mean, someone recently asked me out, and I was like, it was someone that I really care about, and I just said, I really love you, and I want to get closer with you, but in terms of like being in a relationship, I'm just kind of a little scared, and I don't know if I would be able to give you the time that you deserve in a relationship, and that's something that I don't know. I don't know if it's just an excuse that I say that, but I do feel that like if you're gonna date me, you gotta be prepared to not see me for like a few days,
Yeah,
or
totally.
like,
Yeah, for sure.
and I think that's something amazing with you and Kuro is that you both have that mutual love and understanding that like we're both individuals, and I mean Kuro was gone for like 16 days streaming, and like I'm sure it sucked, but like you understood, and Kuro would do the same for you, like I'm pretty sure he would.
I see that. I definitely see that. Like I went to a party last night, like a party, and it was just like, okay, see you when you get back, kind of like let me do my thing, and you do whatever. I could be doing whatever, and it's like I really appreciate that trust and stuff. But yeah, I think I feel the same. I was thinking.
Oh, sorry, you're cutting out. I don't know if
really?
it's your mic. It's like your mic is breaking up. Maybe
like
try again.
I'm leaning back.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, all right. So yeah, but I was saying I don't know if I've ever been in love.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah. No,
hello?
you're good now. You're good now.
Oh,
I don't know if the mod mic's out of battery or something. I don't know. Are you on mod mic?
Yeah, I'm on mod mic pro.
Sometimes it gets weird. I don't know.
I'm gonna switch to my guitar stool.
Okay. I need a guitar stool. I have like a guitar, like a footstool, but not like a. I just have my guitar or my computer chair. Oh, look at you go! I need a guitar stool.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so I can be closer to my computer too, in case the connection's bad. Yeah. Like I don't think I've ever like been in love.
Oh, interesting. Like
I've definitely loved people. I definitely love Kuro. But
yeah.
I think it's more of like something you build with someone else.
Right. Yeah.
Consciously, and like, I'm thinking of love as like this feeling of like almost being helpless and like being super dedicated and being very selfless, and it's almost like a drug-like feeling in one aspect. There's like the romantic love and stuff. I don't think I've ever been in that. Like I don't.
And maybe that's okay though. I mean, when I think of love, I think of that, but I'm thinking like maybe you don't have to feel that. You can like what you're saying, you can deeply love someone and build something over time, and it's like I don't know. It's so meaningful. It's just as good, and it's like comforting and nice and beautiful, and
I'd much rather have that,
Same, actually.
So I've never like fallen head over heels after just meeting someone, and like
that's probably not good. That's usually probably more a sign of infatuation than and some lust. And lust doesn't have to always be bad, but in that situation it might be. When paired with infatuation, anyway.
I don't know. So I think mixing love and lust is interesting. Yeah. But definitely it's like a relationship you build with someone in my eyes now, especially after a 2-year marriage. Right. And like having that fail. It wasn't just because of VRC. Like it's like
with some other
there's different things that come up.
I think you said like earlier when you were mentioning, I was wondering if you're thinking about your ex relationship, like you have your list of dishes or something. Who does the dishes every day?
Oh my god.
And like don't let that fester over time.
I don't want to be that guy who complains about their ex at work, but
they didn't do their dishes.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Oh, you didn't either, so it was both like.
And so it was like, who's gonna do it? I don't know. We're both kind of lazy and just want to play video games, and it's like.
Yeah.
Apparently, to her that was like a big deal. One of the big deals. And I'm like, it's just. But now I look around me and I'm like, fudge, I should clean up. Like, this is real for sure.
It's okay. I love you, sweet. You don't have. You have your own place, right? You can clean up as much as you want.
My own place. I do have my own place.
That's
I
the
have a
best
5-bedroom house that I'm renting.
But to yourself?
To myself, I'm the only.
Are you like a czar or something? Like you? Are you? I guess you're in tech, so I guess that's like a
trying to start
a 5-bedroom house is like a 1-bedroom apartment for tech people.
I mean,
that's so cool. You have a 5-bedroom house. What do you put in your other rooms of your house? Like, so you have your bedroom, but what else do you have?
There's rooms that were going to be other things. Like there was a study, and now it just has a bookcase and like cardboard boxes in there. Aww. There's another room that was a guest room and just has like, I don't know, broken down furniture. Yeah. And then I have my guest room. And so like those rooms used to have like cats in them, and like, you know, we used to be a workout room for both of us. So
sweet.
It just becomes, I converted my master bedroom into a play space, and like that's what I live out of. Mm-hmm. So it's I definitely need to move out of here, and that's why I've been like,
oh, okay,
a little anxious and kind of.
Do you have like a mortgage on it? I'm sure you do. Like,
no, I'm renting.
Oh, you're renting it. You're renting it, right? So you have a lease or something on it?
Money. Yeah, I have a lease. Ends in June. So if you come by, I don't know. I probably won't be.
You should. I don't think one person should live in a 5-bedroom house, especially when it's. You know, it has so many memories that, like, you probably want to move on from, right? Like,
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
Oh, sweetie.
It's okay. It's all right.
Are you going to live in Houston still? I mean, I guess that's where your job is. Is it where your job is, or do you work remotely?
It is where my job is. I work downtown.
Okay.
I'm trying to look for a remote job.
Yeah.
Because of this streamer type life and dancing and VR is like takes up so much time that I definitely can't get anything more work intensive than where I'm at currently right now. Mm-hmm. Part of me is thinking like, yeah, maybe I should work for like a Facebook or a Google or one of these big software companies. But I kind of want to do this more, like explore streaming and providing dance, entertainment services, that sort of thing. And seeing like, you know, how much time can I spend towards that and still be comfortable, like, at my job.
It's a hard balance to figure out. I mean, I'm still figuring it out. We're all still figuring it. Yeah, for sure. I don't know, because I definitely put a lot. So, you know, I don't know if you saw me recently, but I was doing like 26-hour streams like regularly, and that's probably too much time. But then again, I love it, and it's what I'm really passionate about. I love streaming, and I love creating content. It was my dream, maybe not to stream as a kid, but to like make stuff and to do creative stuff. And so like I have the opportunity to do it, so I just want to do it all the time. But then like my sleep suffers, and like, you know, I'm not doing so well at my job. Well, I always try to get my job stuff done, but I'm not like, it's like I'm just going through the motions sometimes.
Going through the motions, and you're like, do I want to do this for the rest of my life and stuff? That's what I put in my journal. I'm like, I don't know if I want to be in the same field for the rest of my life.
And so I think most of us feel that way.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like entertaining or streaming or dancing, like I guess I would totally.
I would do it full time, but like at the same time, part of me is happy that I have something on the side.
Yeah, sure.
Because it takes the stress off streaming to be my only source of income, you know? Because I think once that happens, it can be really stressful, especially if like your numbers dip. And it's so inconsistent, the income. And not just the income, but like the viewership from streaming. Like it's so hard. For me, anyway. I'm still a novice at it, and I have so much I want to learn, and there's so many people I want to learn from. But it's hard. There's no guidebook to it, really. There's no book. There's no courses. It's just sort of like you got to study other people or study.
Well, there's no guidebook, but it's so big, too. Right?
It's so big, too, yeah. Like, there's definitely techniques.
Comes out. And then like 100,000 people are streaming it, right? It's like, whole world is watching people play your game. Yeah.
Have you?
It's really interesting.
Are you into game coding at all? That's such a random question. I wanted to ask you this earlier, but
I am.
Oh,
I haven't.
cool.
I'm working on something.
Really? What are you working on?
Well, I had this idea of a fighting game, 2D fighting game, but you can use VRchat as the sort of the animation for it. So like, say, oh, girl's throwing a punch, I could use that as the punch animation, and you don't need to animate anything. I would just record you in a green screen doing the punch. Doing a
Interesting.
Doing your oh girl smash or something. I don't know what it'd be called. And then of course you can assign that to different button presses and combos and things.
So you would control it with a regular controller, or you would control it with a VR controller?
It would just be like it would just be like you're playing Street Fighter or something.
Okay, yeah.
Except you're using your favorite streamers instead of like.
I was hoping you would go that way, and I'm so glad. That's so cool. I would play the heck out of that.
Wouldn't you play that?
I would play it.
Your,
like Ron versus Kuro, or something like that.
Yeah, Ron would have his like crazy move, and Kuro would be like, I don't know, whatever his silly move would be.
Yeah.
And then I could like sit on people with my cheeks or something.
Oh yeah. It kind of reminds me of when Kuro made those Pokemon cards. Like we'd all have our own move sets and stuff.
That was super cute.
I would play that. I mean, I love 2D fighters, so I definitely would play one that had my friends in it for sure.
Yeah, I would love to do that and just be like, all right, just send me, like anyone could contribute. I'd be like, just send me like an animation, like a 3-second, 2-second of your punches and your kicks, and I would find a way to like easily automate, like add that to the game without doing too much coding. So that's be the dream. That would be really cool, I think, especially with all these VTubers and people in VRC with different aves and stuff. So yeah, but yeah, I like game coding for sure. I would love to work in the gaming industry. But that's also a very tough one. Like, you see how long games last and stuff.
Right. Yeah, and so like long hours, I've heard, too. Like, I heard it's really stressful, depending on the game company. But...
Yeah. Oh, I love horror games.
You love horror games? What are some of your favorite horror games?
My first favorite horror game probably would be Amnesia. The Dark Descent.
I've never played that. I'm not a horror game person. I'm kind of a...
Oh, no.
I've been getting more into them lately, though. They're pretty fun. I'll admit it. They're pretty fun. Like, I played this game called Labyrinth. Yeah, with a friend, I think.
Oh, Labyrinth. Oh, no. Did you play that with people? Friends?
Yeah, I played that with a few people. With Oni. Do you know Oni Jayu? Oni Jayu.
Yeah, Oni Jayu.
Moss and Puck. Yeah, we played it for a while last night. It was fun. It was really fun.
Did you play... Phasmophobia?
Yeah, I can't really get into Phasma. I can't play it in VR, unfortunately, because I get motion sick, and desktop doesn't really do it for me. I don't know why. No. Do you like Phasmo? It doesn't do it for you either?
When I first played it, well, that's the only game I kind of get sick of after a couple hours. Like, it makes my head, like, hurt. But I loved it when it came out. I thought it was so, like, clever and stuff. And I did genuinely get scared.
I
think VR horror is like a completely different.
It's so cool.
Level. Horror.
It's so you're so immersed in it.
So immersive. But I love horror games. I don't know why. It's just love horror games, horror inspired music. Outlast, Amnesia, Alien Isolation. Those are like the top 3 that I think of when I think of horror games. So I would love to work on one, but I think at some point it's gonna be like someone's gonna get like a heart attack in VR or something from playing a horror game.
Yeah, I guess so. And then it's
gonna be like, all right, we have to stop. We have to think about this.
Maybe.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like if you had a weak heart and you're like, I want to play a horror game, like that'd be kind of suspect, right?
The warnings when you start like
right,
map that has that, and then people are like,
whatever,
like whatever, and then someone's like coming at you with something, and it's super freaky. But I think it's so fun. I don't
Yeah,
know. If you
horror
ever
is
get into it, you
fun.
should do some with me and
I would love to do some
maybe.
horror maps with you. I've only really done the Devouring, which was pretty fun. I'm the thing about
Yeah.
horror games is like I'm bad at puzzles too, and usually horror games have a lot of puzzles in them. Um, I don't know if that's
I
true, but I feel
It's
like
true.
yeah, I'm so bad at puzzles. So
Are
like,
you?
yeah, I'm
Aiming
pretty.
strategically.
I just have ADHD, so it's hard for me to focus on the same puzzle for a while.
I
Um,
got you.
Especially if I'm
Um,
scared. I'm just like, yeah.
yeah, I don't know. That's a thing in a lot of horror games. They put puzzles in there that are like the worst puzzles I've seen in any game, not just
Yeah,
horror.
okay.
It's like, and then for you to progress, you have to
You
figure out the
have to
puzzle,
do the
and then
puzzle,
sometimes
yeah.
you're getting chased while you're doing the puzzle,
Yeah,
and that's even
exactly.
worse. You're just like, can you make this an easier puzzle if I'm gonna have to solve it? And
I would
so
love to play a horror game where I
yeah.
didn't have to worry about that. I guess I should. I guess Resident Evil has horror games, but like a first-person shooter with just pure horror elements, I would probably play if there were no
Mm,
puzzle elements to it, or like very
um,
not like super difficult puzzles at least.
like a desktop, I can send you some
Oh,
suggestions.
sure, yeah. Or in VR
Very
too,
cool.
like just going
Yeah.
through. I guess I like horror movies for that reason, where it's just more of a passive
Experience.
experience where I'm just getting scared, like I don't have
What
to
are
do
your
anything.
favorite horror movies? Do you have any favorite ones?
Um, I guess the ones that I like are kind of cheesy. I guess. Like, I remember the first time I watched Blair Witch, I was so scared in like theaters. I guess like
Oh yeah.
Psycho, Hitchcock stuff.
Oh
Um,
man,
what's a good
those are
horror movie that
classics.
I like? Yeah, I usually like classic stuff. There's one I like some Japanese horror. What was that movie called? Oh God, I'm sorry, I'm
The Rain,
blanking.
The Grudge.
No, Kwaidan. It's called Kwaidan.
Oh, I haven't heard
That's
of
about
that.
like Japanese ghost stories. Oh, I really like that one. I heard Kwaidan. I do like The Ring too. I thought The Ring was pretty scary when I watched it.
Yeah, that's
But I
pretty
also like
creepy.
stuff like kind of that cheesy, I guess, like Cabin in the Woods. I kind of liked.
Oh, that
Um,
was different
that
though.
was
That
different. It
was
wasn't cheesy. It
clever.
was more clever. It was more just like kind of like an homage to horror movies, which I liked.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Hmm.
yeah.
Oh,
Um,
or animes and stuff too.
oh, I like Attack on Titan. Does that count as a horror anime?
Oh man. So yeah, I started watching that and I was like, why is everyone dying?
Yeah.
I can't I
Yeah.
can't do this anymore.
Attack on
Like
Titan was
watching
like
Game of Thrones.
horrifying the first season. I thought anyway, like the first few episodes where you just see these
Yeah.
colossal
It's pretty
monsters
freaky.
killing everyone and it's like so hopeless. Like I
Yeah.
love Attack on Titan. Do you watch anime by the way? I mean, I guess you watch that, but do you like watch other anime?
I do. So my ex kind of got me into watching a lot of stuff. Like we watched a lot of One Piece. God, that's such a saga.
Yeah.
Um
I love One
I
Piece. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
oh yeah. I need
Yeah.
to
Kanata does too. I
I kind
love
of
One
saw
Piece.
it, like watched it like kind of in the background and I was like, man, this is really good. But
Is it
I think mhm.
is it hard because your ex got you into it? Because I know like there's some shows that
Yeah.
like an ex or someone that I like don't want anything to do with anymore like got me into it. I'm just like I guess I'm never watching the show the rest of my life because
Oh
like I just
no.
associate it with them. Yeah.
Fudge.
No.
Um I yeah, I'm sure there's stuff like that about me, right? Like I got my ex into Lauren, like almost religious. Like I'm like, ah,
Yeah.
it's Lauren, Lauren, and so maybe they think about they don't have positive feelings and they listen to it, which I hope not, because I like to appreciate art outside of kind of who did it, and then also like where I was at the time, if it was bad or good. Um, I guess that's just me. But yeah, I kind of watch some weird type anime, like stuff that's really funny or cringy, like
Yeah.
Bucky the Grappler.
Oh, I love Baki the Grappler. It is kind of cringy, but I love kind of how cringy it is. Yeah, I love Baki. I haven't seen the whole show, but like just how over the top violence.
It's over the top. I like it too. So like you like punch him in the face
head,
and then
yeah. Like I like Fist of the North Star as a kid, and like I love JoJo. It's just how over the top it is sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get into JoJo.
Oh, have you not seen JoJo? JoJo's really good.
I started watching it and I'm like, I don't know. I was like,
fair.
I need to get into it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fair. Some people don't get it. I love it though. I think it's so good.
I also like one of my favorite animes of all time is Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, I love Hunter x Hunter. I love how kind of creepy it is sometimes with the what is the Hisoka or the clown guy? He's just like it's like he's having like an orgasm almost thinking about Gon and stuff. It's like, man, this guy is fucked. But I like Hunter. Yeah, Hunter x Hunter is really good. I hope they continue it. Like the guy who wrote it he stopped writing it because of exhaustion and like he was sick, and which is kind of sad.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, but he is writing more chapters and stuff, albeit kind of slowly. Because I would love for that to finish, because it kind of just stops like right when it was getting super good. It just stops. So
I heard it was like after the Ant Saga, it was like some stuff, political stuff, and then I don't really know.
Yeah.
But that was one of my favorites because of how like psychologically,
right,
like kind of like Death Note is so psychologically thrilling, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a lot of interesting topics in that show. Like they do like a virtual reality game and like all kinds of stuff like smashed into the show that you're like, what the heck? You have to do research on this to even write something about this. You know? I can tell he probably took years to write those stories. You know, so I don't know. I definitely like anything with a good story. And that's dark. Like Parasite. Did you see that one?
The movie?
Dark one.
Or the the anime?
It's a show.
Oh no, I haven't seen Parasite. I love the movie.
Really good. Dark. I love dark and interesting.
I'll have to watch. There's a lot of anime I haven't seen. I need to watch.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Death Note. I'm sorry. I'll watch it.
It's okay. You want to watch it together? I got you.
Yeah, I was gonna go watch it with you.
Kuro hasn't seen it either.
Oh, really? I'll watch it with you too if you want. I'm sorry. That's a classic one. I know.
It's classic. Yeah, it's definitely classic. But yeah, I used to love watching anime by myself.
Yeah.
And then when I got in a relationship, it was like whatever she wanted to watch, I guess. And then it was like,
sorry, I relate to that feeling so
you know
much.
What I mean?
Yeah, it's like
God.
It's like all right, we'll just watch whatever you want to watch.
Guys playing sports and stuff, Haikyuu, and like all the different sports animes and like yaoi related stuff.
Yaoi related stuff? What?
Yeah, I have this suspicion that I don't know. It's probably not right. All girls who are into anime are also into yaoi.
I guess are all is it the same way we're all guys? Kind of like Yori? Yeah. Like, or at least the idea of it? I don't know. Maybe.
Someone can maybe...
Girls like Yuri too. Guys like yaoi too. But I guess so. I don't know.
Yeah, possibly. So I got very...
You watched a lot of yaoi with your ex?
I watched a lot of yaoi with my ex. Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
And I don't take I don't... Yeah, that was just my exploration, my introduction to that stuff. So, yeah. I don't watch that too much anymore. I don't really watch anything outside with, like, friends and stuff.
Aww.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've been going for like 3 hours now, and I feel like I could talk to you for forever, but I was thinking maybe just because I unfortunately have I gotta be up early, but I would love to have you on again, and I would love to see you. Yeah, it's 10. I would love to see you again off stream too, but if I can have you on again, I would love to have you. I was gonna say I could open up the floor to some, if anyone has questions for Sweet, or we can have chat, and maybe we can just sort of like wrap up a little bit. I had a couple kind of random questions for you, if that's okay. One of them is and let me pull up my chat. So guys, I'm gonna actually, if you guys have any questions for Sweet, thank you guys by the way for watching. It's been really really nice. I know the last hour me and Sweet have just been talking about anime and food, but I love talking about everything, especially with you. And I really mean that though. Like, it's been really nice talking with you, and I've been wanting to get to know you better ever since I first met you. So yeah, this is really, of course. So if anyone has any questions for Sweet, anything at all, here it is, and let me check this. Wait, Sweet, you're familiar with Hunter x Hunter? Hi, Riley, by the way. Identity 001, if you know him, constantly tells me that the Ant Chimera arc in Hunter x Hunter is the greatest piece of visual art of all time, which, I could see that. I don't know. That's a big statement, but he constantly says that. Anyway, so if anyone has a question for Sweet, let me know. But I have a question for you, which is, how did you come up with your name? And do you like donuts? You always have a donut on your avatar. Is it like a special meaning, or is it just cute?
Yes. Let me go start with the first question.
Okay.
Sweet Heat came from my favorite barbecue sauce flavor.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't have thought that. Okay.
I actually used it in code. That was my coder name. You know how like Neo's Neo
and you're Sweet Heat.
Neo,
okay.
And I'm Sweet Heat, and so I thought it was really cool. And so I used it in a couple games and stuff. But here I was like, I just use it, and it's stuck ever since. I mean, it sounds like a stripper name, but
I didn't think that, but now I guess I will. I don't know. I don't think
I do dance at clubs now, so
yeah,
it's perfect when there's like endless things to come up with.
Yeah,
and people call me Sweet, and I kind of like that.
Is there a story behind the donut?
Oh, yeah. Not without getting too emotional. This is I saw my friend Lofty Calvin, who recently passed this year.
You're right.
He had a donut on his head as a seiki.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuck with me, and I was thinking of things to put in my hair as far as like treats or sweets. And I found a donut online, and I was like, let me put it in there. And this is sort of a...
It's really cute. I always thought it. I really like the donut. Yeah. Well, this makes me want a donut, though.
Aww. Yes.
I also want to ask you, like, this is so random, but like, do you know how your emote got banned? Your Sweet Cheeks emote?
I was freaking dumb. So
yeah,
I uploaded the same emote, except it kind of shakes when somebody animated the booty shaking as like in the animated section, because I really have been wanting that forever.
Yeah.
And so they freaking
it's a little bit too much for them.
And they banned the original one after like it being live for a year and a half or something.
It was there forever.
So like,
did they tell you? Did they send you an email like, this is against TOS?
Yeah, they say it's like sexual content or nudity. So
okay.
That's not nudity. Well, maybe
it is like a butt.
So,
but it's so cute though. It's like not. I don't think anyone's like getting off. Sorry, I know it's getting off to that emote or anything.
I don't know. It's apparently worse than what people stream normally on Twitch.
Yeah, that's like I mean, like I've seen
I don't know.
worse stuff. I don't know.
So I don't know. Emotes are a very special thing apparently.
What is Shouju AI? I don't know what that is. Myra says Shouju AI is better than Yori. Change my mind. I don't know what that. I don't know what Shoujo AI is. Hi Ludi, by the way, cutie.
Shoujo AI. Oh, that's
Shoujo AI.
It's like sort of like light girl love, I think.
Oh, okay.
Sort of like two girls. Yeah.
Is like Sakura Trick better, or Sakura Trick a Yuri? I don't know. I watched an episode of Sakura Trick recently.
Sakura Trick.
I don't know. I watched it because I use a lot of animated GIFs from that show on Discord, and I was like, I should watch that. Sakura Trick's amazing. I heard it's really good. Bob says Sakura Trick, lol. Wait, I love you, Lunar Foxes. Lunar Foxes, you're great. You're wonderful. I love you. Bob's like says, Sweet Heat, when was the last time you could see your floor before the DoorDash packaging covered it?
God.
Oh, I love you.
I like sat down and a pizza box like flew off my couch the other night. he's like, clean your room.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think why does Sweet's butt keep getting bigger with each avatar update? That's Tonky that asked that.
Wow.
Come on, Tonky. Don't harass Sweet. Come on, Tonky.
Yay. I'm Panda Base.
I think that's really it for the question. Seems like people. Thank you guys, by the way, for watching the interview. I had an amazing time. I'm so glad we could do this. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I've been wanting to do this for a while.
Did you have anything? Oh, you're amazing. Did you have anything you wanted to plug or like? So you can. Well, first there's like you stream on twitch.tv/SweetheatVR, right? And
yeah. So I have my Discord. All the details are on should be on my Twitch and also my Twitter.
Okay. And you have the Index podcast with Kuro on every Wednesday.
Podcast with Kuro,
which I might be on.
I would love for you to be on that. I would love for you to be the third.
I would love that. I would love that, honestly.
Because you were the first person I thought. I was like, I would love all girls to be interviewed. I'm just not done asking questions. And then so the Index podcast for sure, that's gonna be fun. And other than that, I dance at Club Poseidon every other Saturday. So if you want to see my other Abby special, Abby, you can see me dancing and see my moves and stuff. And yeah, that's about it.
Okay, cool.
Check out the Discord if you want announcements on like when I go stream, which is usually like Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, that sort of thing, around 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Central. It depends, but I'll usually announce it that morning. So.
Okay, cool. Oh, yeah, I want to ask you one last question, I guess, and that is, why are you so amazing and lovely? But I also, I guess, wanted to ask if is there anything that you have like goals for the future that you're working on? I guess there's the podcast, but is there anything else that you really want to do? Or do you want to keep just doing dance and like, I don't know.
I want to definitely help people learn to express themselves, like dancing wise.
Yeah.
Especially dancing wise. I do want to talk about sort of general, like I love doing these interviews and stuff, so I want to be involved in either doing interviews or being a part of interviews, and like just kind of talking about what we talked about earlier, like how to be the best version of yourself, sort of. So like being aware of like how you affect other people and like how you think about things and not letting your thoughts run around. So like the nonviolent communication, I think that's so important. And I don't know if I can be some sort of influencer in that space, that'd be really cool. But there's a lot of things I want to do, including dance and stuff. So make music, make more music. Yeah. Put out an album or something.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I used to work with rappers and stuff, so it was all hip hop based. But lately, I've been like, well, I want to make something that doesn't need rap and can kind of stand on its own as an instrumental. So, yeah, that's about it, though.
Cool. So yeah, thank you again for being here. You were amazing. Tiny says,
Anytime.
It was really nice hearing you both talk openly about everything tonight. I'm still relatively new to VRC, but I really appreciate you diving into the topics you did, especially around sexuality, identity, as it's something I've been trying to figure out for myself for the past few years. So yeah, thank you, of course. Thank you for watching, Tiny. I always think that's wonderful to hear stuff like that.
That's really cool. That's so awesome.
Yeah. Though sweet, are you gonna carry Kuro in Elden Ring or just keep watching him get clapped?
Is he still playing right now? Is he still going? Oh no, he's done. Oh, he probably got clapped.
So you guys,
poor baby.
I'm probably gonna end my stream there. I have a little bit of work tomorrow, and I get to bed a little early. We're gonna raid somebody.
Absolutely clapped. It's gonna be the easiest game. That's what he said.
I'm not sure who I want to raid. I guess we could raid Lulu? Question mark? Lulu? Tasty Bogle, Miyoshi, Moon VR. Clap, clap, clap. Thanks for the amazing interview. Thank you, Kanata. Kanata liked the interview.
Aww, Konada, thank you for cleaning my room.
Thank you for cleaning their room.
We danced the other night too.
That
was wonderful. Thank you, sweetie.
Wait, I thought it was Lulu's birthday. No, Lulu's Sunday stream. Good night, everyone. I'll send you guys over to Lulu, I guess. Yeah, let's raid Lulu. I haven't raided him for a while. What should our raid message be? Good night, Mechi. I love you. How about just Lulu is super pretty raid? Hi, Gavi. I love you, Mechi. I love you, Gavi. I love all of you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And once again, thank you, Sweet, for being here. You're amazing. If you guys can give Lulu some love, I'm pretty sure most of you are already following him. But if you aren't, he's one of the funniest, sweetest, most talented people that I know. And he's a big inspiration to me, too. He has really nice hair, IRL, which has nothing to do with his content.
His hair is fire.
His hair is fire. Yeah, and he's given me so much love. He's rated me so many times, and it's just we all love Lulu. He's a big dork. He's super sweet and cute. He's silly. Last night. Yeah, so we're gonna go. Once again, thank you, Sweet. Let me get my camera here. The next guest will be Kitty DVR on Tuesday. Don't forget to end stream. Okay, Bob said that already. Bye, Riley. Oh, yeah, I want to have Riley DPS on the stream, too. They're amazing. I want to interview them. But thank you guys for being here. I love you. I had so much fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. I'll be uploading this to YouTube, if that's okay.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine. Sure.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
9.2K in the span of 2 days.